Once again, you have found. Oh, I have myself turned up too loud. I was too soft last week, and I overcompensated. Once again, you have found yourself in the clutches of Vaesen, here on Happy Jack's RPG Network. This is London Calling, episode 5. Right, 5. Holy cow, that's a lot. That's many episodes. They go by very quickly on this week by week schedule. I am Kadave. I am your game master for the evening, or Master of Mysteries, as it was so well put in our intro movie. I'm very excited because we have all returned, and we will get to figure out a new mystery. And I'll get to make creepy eyebrows, and that's also exciting. Before we do that, I'd like to take a moment and let everybody out there watching and listening know that this is a horror-themed game that includes all kinds of things that might be problematic for some folks. Things like violence and death and gore and ghosts and communicating with the afterlife and interacting with magical things that humans really shouldn't, all that kind of stuff. We are also a table of people that, while virtual, are still enjoying all the use of safety tools. We had a discussion amongst ourselves about things that we were just going to leave behind lines and veils, and we're avid users of X cards. So if anything comes up during play, anybody can just signal or say that they'd like to X that, and we'll move on. No questions asked, and it's totally fine. Because at the end of the day, we're playing RPGs to have fun, and not to try and hurt each other, because that would be really crappy. So I'll pass the spotlight around the table. Let's start with Sam.
Muted. Hello, I'm Sam. I play Sean Jones. I forgot who I was for a minute. Who is the occultist playbook, and she is a real occultist and definitely a fake Welsh person.
All right. Kurt.
Hello, I'm Kurt. I am playing Jackie Princeton, the Texas Tornado. He is the athlete archetype, and he is a boxer from Texas who lives in London.
All right, Mitch.
Hello, I'm Mitch. I play Diablo, your ordinary, lovable, fun, sitcom style butler. And I'm just happy to be here. Yeah.
And Clara.
Hello, I'm Clara. I play Saoirse Sheehy, who is our writer archetype and just a little Irish lass who is allergic to Vaesen, and that's it. I humbly request from Bill Roper that he make us an 80s style sitcom opening. I'm just saying.
He already mentioned it's one of those things he may be tootling about with already.
I need an 80s sitcom style opener for literally every show I'm on from now on. That's my request. I just want maybe the tune, but it's 80s.
somewhere down the line, I'll like run an 80s sitcom game.
Right? That would be the most boring thing.
I know just the system for that.
Ah!
Yeah.
Shit, you're right.
And then you could maybe play in your own system, and it'd be fun. All right. So getting back into our game, the first thing we should do is a quick catch-up mechanic thing for Sean. You need to give yourself an advance. So what that means is you can either increase one of your skills,
Okay.
or you can take a new talent from the general talents in the book.
Ooh. I'm gonna have to look at talents before I decide.
Or it can also be from the specific to the occultist talents. You just can't cross into other folks' talents.
General unless we have, like, occultist.
Yeah. Unless there's some real compelling reason why you'd suddenly be really good at something that another archetype does.
Makes sense.
which could happen. Like you did a ritual wrong and you suddenly got all of Jackie Princeton's boxing memories or something. Who knows?
Matrix
Things could
style, just
happen.
learned how to box.
Yeah. Because why not? Let's just make everybody in the party a better boxer than Jackie.
Rude.
So while you look at your choices for that, we were going to move on to our EXP questions from last session. So, the question number 1, did you participate in the session? You can award yourself an experience point. Question number 2, did you confront any Vaesen? Yeah?
Oh yeah, Satan.
You absolutely did.
The banker.
Fully just Satan.
He's not quite that great.
Yeah.
You actually did have a chance to hit him. He just
I
rolled
wanted
really
to.
well.
I was
wanted
so
to punch him.
I want to throw hands, catch these knees, Satan.
Then
I refuse to take any points in physique, but I will punch Satan.
Mm-hmm.
Next is, did you identify a previously unknown Vaesen?
Satan.
I'll say yes, not for him, but for the window lurking banshee.
The banshee.
Mhm.
Oh
Right.
yeah, Tornado's girlfriend.
That is
we need to
not.
get her back.
Oh,
It's a nightmare.
Number 4, were you affected by your dark secret? One of you may
Yes.
answer yes.
Nah, it's been pretty chill.
Number 5, did you take risks to protect other people?
Nah.
I think the 3 of us charged. I mean, at least Diablo should get this because he charged the demon
I
immediately.
would say, yeah.
Aw.
You absolutely
He
did go out
did.
there to try and throw a kneecap.
Gonna catch these knees.
What I'm hearing from the questions that are being asked to gain our XP is that we should take stupider risks.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm never going to say no to that, right?
If we
We're
don't
gonna
get
do-
hurt, we can't get inspired.
That's true.
Ooh,
If
yeah.
we don't do if we don't get hurt, we can't use any of our
I
abilities.
think the
right?
game
Sleep
wants us to
over.
fight the Vaesen, y'all.
Yeah,
Well,
sleep over.
Okay, wait.
Under Diablo.
We could get emotionally hurt by Vaesen.
Oh, yeah,
That's
yeah,
a
yeah.
thing.
This is
That's
going to
my
turn into
backstory.
this is going to turn into the session of you guys like doing like the car scams, like walking in front of a car real fast and pretending it hit you.
Oh, heck yeah.
Like, you're-
What happened to you?
Listen.
Critical depression.
I need so much. I need to make sure I get hurt enough that I get inspired.
I care a lot about what the system wants us to do because the system will tell you how they want your game to be played.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
apparently it wants us to get hurt.
Let's
Yeah.
go find Tornado's dad. I'm sure
Hey,
there's some.
If you don't put yourself out there, you can't get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna find your dad. I think this.
All right.
Oh,
We've got a couple
no.
more questions. Hang on. Have you learned anything, and what?
Satan a bitch. He dodges. Should have taken that.
We learned I am gonna die soon, and or
Oh, yeah,
someone
that too.
nearby will die.
No,
Yeah.
it's definitely you. You have been
Yeah.
you have been called.
She wasn't on our window.
I will say you've also learned that you did do some research into
Oh yeah, we did.
like
Look
the
at books.
like demon contracts.
Oh yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
did learn some
We need
information there.
We need a demonic barrister.
Yeah,
which is,
I would-
it's like when you say ATM machine, demonic
Yeah.
barrister. I
Yeah.
think that's
Tautological.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the beginning of Saoirse's arc as an advocate.
It's
gonna go-
Ooh, update
Saoirse
your
goes to law
LinkedIn
s-
profile.
right?
Yeah.
Saoirse goes to law school.
satanic lawyer.
Let me switch
elevator
to
door
RP and I'm
opens.
good at that.
Al Pacino and Keanu Reeves come out.
Yes.
All right.
This is
Will
Law and
Smith
Order.
Satan, too?
Number 7. Did you develop something in your headquarters? Yes, you did.
We did. We got the
The
annals.
spanking. Oh yeah, yeah. They. Oh god, I can't say it on.
We got a
stream.
book,
I'm
y'all.
sorry. And it's every 5 you get a pop.
For
Yeah,
5
I didn't-
EXP, you can pick a new
We're racking
skill
in
increase
XP.
or talent. And then number 8, did you perform an extraordinary action? I don't really feel like anybody did anything that extraordinary.
Nah.
Yeah.
Unless if you want to make a case, I'm open to hear it. But
I mean, Diablo turning around that conversation with the sex worker was pretty extraordinary. Because it was going real bad.
yeah, but if you make it real bad and then you happen to fix the problem,
what? It's perfect.
I don't know if that counts. Like, Armageddon would have been different if, like, Bruce Willis had gone up there and aimed the asteroid at the planet and then come back and been like, I'm going to be a hero, guys. Let's get on a spaceship.
I'd watch that movie. Yeah, let's roll. So I'm spending one of mine to up my physique, my force from 3 to 4.
Well, you can't up the actual attribute. Just
no,
your skill.
Force. Yeah, force. Yeah, I'm already swole as heck fire. Just my left chest though, the pecs.
My problem has been that every time I look at our skills, I'm like, we're never going to use that. But part of me is like, I might up my medicine just in case.
That's not a bad idea.
I'm waiting for a paper cut. I just, you know what? It's there if we need it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
like,
bump
you
my
know,
medicine
we
up.
might make
It's
it
like bringing an
wrestle
umbrella.
Yeah.
Take pugilist.
Did you not have pugilist?
No.
You're okay.
Don't you make fun of my boy.
Is wrestling fake? Is boxing as fake as wrestling? Is that what I'm learning today?
I mean, we'll have to find out. We play to find out.
I think I figured out what I'm going to take. I'm going to take another occultist talent. I'm going to take conjuring tricks. I can use stealth instead of manipulation to perform conjuring tricks to influence people.
All right.
Definitely seems like something I would know how to do, you know, doing seances for rich people.
Yeah. Sleight
steal
of
their
hand.
money.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right. So now let's do the short little recap of what the 3 of you wrote in the book for what happened last time.
So like we see Jackie standing at the book, right, with the pen, and it's like in his head voice. Well, there was that time that Diablo brought a sex worker to my room, and I thought it was the same banshee that had recently been outside my window. So I screamed and she ran, and I feel real bad about it because it wasn't her fault at all. Hey, Saoirse, what else happened last night?
No idea. It's only been a night. Yeah. Okay. First, oh no, what happened before? When did that start? When did last night start?
I'm gonna put in the book, like, me and Tornado decide to throw down with Satan, with the 2 greatest warriors he has in order to free Tornado. Come at me, signed Diablo to Satan.
Right underneath that message just says, oh yeah, Jackie's fucked.
Okay.
I'll just leave a little note. Go ahead.
He made a dumb deal, and now he's never lost a fight, except for the part where I think he did have his arse kicked by Diablo, but we don't talk about that part. Oh no, you didn't. You might.
No.
You almost did.
No, we naked.
This is all written down.
Yeah, everyone won that day.
Everyone won that day. But apparently his time is coming. Anyway, I'm looking into law books, and that's where it's left for her for now, because I can't remember what happened.
So anyway, the next day we went out and met the Earl of Essex, I think, and he was kind of nice, posh fella, but not much you can do with them. So his kid gone missing, and we think it's because he met like a nice girl or something at a theater. So we looked around the room, found some playbills. then we talked to the chauffeur, and he agreed to drive us around. Dang it! We didn't actually go anywhere, right?
We have it. There's a little
No.
yellow flower, and it is pressed into the book. Saoirse has forgot it was there.
You found a little yellow flower, and you investigated the missing Christopher's room. And actually, I think what happens is like you guys get to the point where you like pause, like you're sitting there with the quill in your hand, like, and you pause, and then the book starts filling in the rest, right? Like
Thank you.
and like it's just, but like it goes from the various your various handwritings as you added things, and then it goes into like a beautiful illustrated tome kind of a font, and it fills in that Mr. Guillory is the chauffeur with the slightly older but still very nice Bentley to drive you around, who is going to come and pick you up for the theater this evening. And you do have some information that the missing Christopher was friends with someone that lived in the Duke of Norfolk's house. And he has driven someone back there several times. And you got a couple of theater names.
There was the Palladium. I remember that one, and the National Opera Coliseum and the Piccadilly Circus.
Oh, we got tickets too.
Yes. Oh, and the Duke did supply you with his box seats at both venues.
For a month.
Piccadilly Circus is like an outdoor market, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's a interesting place that has a lot of cool neon lights. Then and now, actually.
Wait, then too?
Well, they weren't neon, but there was tons of lit signage and stuff, even back then. And then because the book has filled all this out, you all get 1 bonus EXP. Including Sean. Yeah.
Yay.
Because it's basically like
Sean was sort of
and Sean, the story for Sean was the when you attempted to contact the spirit realm and you accidentally had that mishap with the old henge, it really sort of drained your energy, right? You were just exhausted when you guys got back to London.
Opening a hellmouth takes a lot of energy out of you.
Yeah, exactly. So you went to bed and rested well. There was a bit of shenaniganry that like Saoirse decided to come in and talk to Diablo underneath the bed, so you probably like woke up in a haze and like were confused as to why there were legs sticking out from under the bed and a conversation going on. But
I think
other
she
than
knows
that,
enough not to pry.
Yeah.
I bring people over every now and then. We have fun.
As long as the legs aren't screaming, it's fine.
Yeah. But other than that, that's where we are. So I think technically we ended the session with you thinking about that you were going to go, because it's still like late morning at this point, that you were thinking about heading over to the Duke of Norfolk's house to investigate while you wait for the evening to go to the theaters. But obviously, if you have any other ideas or something you'd like to do instead, we can do that.
I'm going to make sure Sean has breakfast or lunch.
Oh, yeah. A large breakfast, please.
We should send ahead to tell the Duke of Norfolk we're coming, because apparently I just feel like people would be upset if we showed up unannounced. These people seem like they're the kind of people who get upset when that happens. Am I right? Am I wrong?
You're right.
What happens if they're upset?
They invade your country. I mean, I
don't have no country. Hey,
get angry and that they take things that aren't theirs.
Yeah, come to Spain.
I don't have a
see
good
what
answer
happens.
that's not salty.
They'll be less likely,
answer.
at least, to give us information.
That is what happens to become uncooperative.
No, rich people squeal like piggies.
Well, you do have, I mean, you could call ahead. You could show up unannounced to try and catch anyone off guard. I don't know if that outweighs the impoliteness of an unannounced visit. You guys can decide.
I say we announce our visit first.
Okay.
Does that mean I have time to go home and research the flower?
But yeah, we could. Yeah, if you decide not to go straight there, you could absolutely stop back at Rose's house and do a little research.
And also ask for, do we have, I assume Sean does, but do we have clothes for the opera?
I think that's a question that I should be asking y'all.
Mm.
Are we having a shopping episode?
I got my butler outfit.
Well, Diablo, you would have outfits to go to fancy society things because you would have to go with Sean.
Yeah, my butler's outfit.
Yes, butler's outfit. It's technically a tux, but you can call it whatever you want.
Butler.
I think when Jackie goes to society events, he does up the Texan thing. So he probably has like the bolo tie and the just like a Texan kind of suit look. So I don't know if that's opera appropriate.
I mean, I think for someone who's dying, it doesn't matter.
I don't think anybody's going to stop a famous Texan from looking like a famous Texan.
That's true.
Especially if they're about to die.
I'll borrow something of Sean's if it fits.
Yeah.
I would not. That's insane.
Yeah, she'll lend you some clothes.
But
easily.
if we are going home, yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Diablo can
they won't
also
get dirty in the meantime.
lend you some clothes if you need it.
I don't want to know where yours are from.
So we going?
Yeah. So, are you planning to call ahead to the Norfolk house, with a telephone call? Are you gonna try and send
I'll call him before the other butler can do it because he's kind of raining on my parade in general.
Well, he's not so good at telephones, so you could absolutely do that.
Good.
So yeah, the off the foyer there's like in older houses they actually had the telephone room, right? Like it was basically like a phone booth closet that would sometimes have a little stool and a desk and a phone. So you could step in there and it's easy enough to have an operator connect you. You have more than enough information to figure out which house to contact. So
like, hello,
do
this
so.
is Diablo. Yeah, I'd just like to know that myself, Lady Sean, and two of her compatriots / colleagues will be going to the theater tonight using that box.
Oh, I thought you were calling the Duke's house to let them know you were coming over there like this afternoon.
Yeah, that.
Okay.
Tell the Duke we're gonna be over there, and we need his keys to his car.
Well, it's a different guy. You already have the car worked out.
I feel like he's like, oh, God,
he's like, sir, I don't believe we don't lend the car out to just anyone who calls.
This is a Wendy's. God damn it!
Yes.
We're coming. Hell's coming with us. Yeah, I did it.
Yes. So you can absolutely pass on the information that you are coming over.
And
why don't Sean? Why don't you do? I promise I'll look back at the microphone to read this so you guys can hear. Like an empathy inspiration roll.
Okay.
If you know anyone in the Duke of Norfolk's house from your
Okay. Let's
hobnobbing around society.
see. I do not.
Okay. So they don't necessarily recognize the name, so they probably don't plan a whole thing, but they know that people are coming over, and that's enough to satisfy that kind of social interaction. So is that where you guys want to go first, or?
Yep, I handled it, guys. Let's go.
While we have the time back at the house, do we have just enough time to find a book on herbs and
Yeah,
figure out this fucking
I'm sure
flower?
you would.
This fucking flower.
So, like, logic investigation,
Listen.
or
Yeah,
no? You know what? You could use learning also, because you specifically said that you have done some research on it before.
All right. I mean, it's the same roll. It's
Okay.
that I roll like shit.
But the library gives you a bonus, I believe, right?
Yes.
Plus 1.
7 dice. 7 dice.
Nice.
1, 2, 3.
Oh, that's too many.
Listen, I've failed on more. I failed on 8. We've
Same.
seen it happen.
Because if you get greedy on the number of dice, then they all know to not.
Listen, statistically, it shouldn't happen, but I did hit that traveler woman with my 3 successes.
Oh, all right. So you take a minute and you have the flower and you hold it up, and it looks exactly like the illustration of a flower called gorse. Gorse, also known as furze, Furze, from the enchanted Emerald Isle. A common enough yellow flower from Ireland.
Oh, okay.
But not like impossibly rare, right? Like it
No.
grows very commonly, and it is also found other places, but they have a lot of it there.
Every time one of these things shows up and it's an Irish thing, all Saoirse can think is like, we're fucked. It's happening again.
It's not a villainous flower. It's not.
It's just a flower.
It's just a flower. It can be turned into tea. It's unobtrusive. There's literally so much of it that it is not. It's not particularly known to be magical or anything else like that.
Until it shows up in the pocket of the person who goes missing.
I mean, sure. Maybe he just picked it as he was on his way to see someone and forgot it in his pocket.
Quiet voice in my head. Saoirse has left the library muttering. As stated earlier, the flower got pressed in the book on accident, but is back and flat.
That is somewhat preserved. That's all.
God, I gotta fucking swear.
And then because of your extra successes, if you need to have any knowledge regarding that flower in the future, you can give yourself +2.
Thank you for that. I will take my +2 for flower research.
Nobody knows gorse like you do. All right. So you guys are headed over to the residence of the Duke of Norfolk here in London anyway. Not his actual home, which would be in Norfolk. But are you going to take a taxi? Do you guys want to walk?
What's the day like?
Yeah, how far is it?
It's not actually that far. You guys are in sort of the nice-ish area of town. It is it's fairly nice. Sun partly cloudy, not particularly damp. The
Sounds like a nice
coal
day for a
smoke
walk.
is not too bad.
Yeah.
We've got these excellent boots thanks to our leprechaun friend.
Sean needs get some air and sunshine.
Certainly. You can have an easy walk over there, no problem. So you go on your stroll. Let me check something. Oh. As you're leaving, Jackie, you notice on the corner where you had your encounter last night, in the ground, there's like a, you know how in some places they have like almost Art Deco manhole covers, right?
Yeah.
Like they're super fancy.
Yeah.
It's almost like one of those is there, but it's just in the ground of the sidewalk there. Like almost like inlaid metal
In the
into the
sidewalk.
cement. Yeah.
And this is pretty close to the Duke's house?
No, this is like right as you're leaving Rose House.
Oh.
Right where you had the encounter with the banker.
Is it a symbol I would recognize?
Do you think there were any symbols on the contract you signed?
Ooh. I want to say when it burned away that
Sure.
it left like a sigil in the air for a second.
Absolutely, that would make sense to me. So yeah, that's exactly what it looks like.
Oh, hell no. The banker left his mark right here. And I'm gonna kneel down and like sort of push at it and see if it feels like it was like put there. Like, is it part of the land here now, or could I remove it?
When you kneel down and reach to touch it, your hand gets real close to it, and then right as soon as you touch it, it glows like red hot. Like you have to jerk your hand away. It's like you just tried to touch the burner on a stove. But as soon as you pull your hand away, it's just totally black metal again. No residual heat or anything.
Demons.
Can I try to touch it?
Sure.
I mean, careful. It's hot.
No, I know.
So
I won't try to
Diablo,
touch it.
you kneel down and you reach to touch it, and it's just metal.
Oh, hell.
Just there in the ground.
Literally.
Is there how many people are around?
I mean, it's a nice day, so there's a fair number of wanderers. Not,
Right, I'm like
I mean, it's not like a
tornado.
busy street because it's residential here, but
Cover me.
All right. I'll stand between Diablo and others.
you
All right,
provide some cover.
I'm gonna piss on this Satan symbol.
Okay.
Do it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna like.
Sure.
Whew.
You go for it. And other than making somewhat of a mess on the sidewalk, nothing seems to happen. But you hit it. You don't have to roll to aim or anything.
Force physique, martial arts. I do 5 damage.
But you are successful in your goal.
All right, I turn around and I've done all I can. Let's go.
That seems
right.
about correct.
Well, I appreciate you trying, Diablo.
But other than that, you have an uneventful walk over to the Duke's house, which
Now, out of character, the Duke of Norfolk's child was a friend of Christopher's. Is that why we're going there?
Yes.
yes,
Okay.
Yeah,
or
interrogate
someone
them.
in that house that is not the Duke.
Okay.
Right.
So, go ahead.
Oh, I couldn't remember if we got the kid's name. I don't think so, right?
No, the driver didn't know
Okay.
his name.
Okay, that's fine.
So you get there, and surprisingly, it actually looks a lot like Rose House, right? Size-wise, like it's much bigger than the Essex house that you visited before. So it kind of takes up like a block, right? It's this big building, and it's there, and it's got, that you actually have to go up like a whole flight of stairs out front that are like marble stairs going up to this big like wrought iron door with glass behind it. So as you get up to the top, you see that there's a footman inside the door that opens the door and greets you as you approach. Good afternoon.
May
Good
I
afternoon.
introduce to you Lady Sean and her colleagues?
Oh, just one moment, please. And he pulls the door to, and you see him step out of sight around the corner for a second.
Colleagues.
What?
No, that's correct.
Yeah,
I mean,
all-
it's
Co-workers.
technically correct.
That's the best form of correct.
I mean, you're saying I didn't warrant an introduction, Diablo?
I mean, in this type of with these people, they view status and everything, and honestly,
I
Lady
gesture towards my
Sean-
hat.
Yeah, but you're American, like just that, like that throws you down several notches.
He's
Sorry.
not wrong.
Yeah,
You wound me, Diablo.
No, I love you. Okay, it's just here. There's a different world, and we got to be cold, and sometimes we got to hurt each other. Lady Sean's just better than you in terms of social status.
I have an academic question for Lady Sean. What are you lady of?
Well, if you don't know, then I'm not at liberty to tell you.
All right.
Uh,
Gonna
oh.
pocket that for later.
All right, keep your secrets.
I mean, it's a fair bet that even the highest tiers of the aristocracy don't have like a comprehensive book listing of everybody that has a title at any given moment.
Oh,
So-
not on them.
No, yeah. So you could get by a lot by just saying you are and
Mhm.
acting like you are.
Well, are you implying that Lady Sean is not royalty?
No, I'm just saying that could happen.
I mean, explicitly. Never mind.
It's like if you put on a high vis vest and carry a clipboard, you can pretty much get anywhere you need to get.
Okay,
Right.
I'm going into the initiative with the GM right now. Let's go. Like God, let's roll. Talking Lady Sean like that. What you talking about? Let's go.
You have pugilist. You can do this.
Yeah.
So, just a minute or two passes, and then the footman comes back and opens the door, and he says, "Ah, indeed. We are prepared for your arrival." And he swings the door open and
Excellent.
gestures you all inside.
Expect everything's clean and up to par for Lady Sean.
And you step in, and it's this basically like marble palace entrance, right? It is 2 stories above you of open space. In the middle, there's a burbling copper fountain that has a nice patina of green on it. There's actually around the edge of this entryway, there's a selection of like not quite tropical plants, but palms and things that you don't see in London very often. Just to stand out and be unique. And the footman, he gestures you over to the side. It's some kind of a reception room. Takes you inside, and it's that super stereotypical room that has just piles of artwork. Like the walls are just totally covered in various art pieces. And there's some big, comfortable, overstuffed velvet couches in the room for people to sit and look upon the art and despair. you know. And he asks if anybody would like any refreshments.
Yes, I'll have tea, please.
Glass of milk. Chilled.
Indeed. Anything
Tea.
else?
Tea would be lovely. Thank you.
Oh, certainly.
I'm fine.
And he disappears out of the room for a moment, leaving you to yourselves.
Can I see? You said there are books in this room.
Not really a lot of
Or is
books.
it just
It's all
art?
art. There's various like little spots around the room that have sculpture and that kind of stuff, but it's not a library.
Okay. Yeah, I just take in some art while we're here, I guess.
Sure.
Is there any particular style of art they seem to favor?
To be honest, it probably looks more like someone has collected a bunch of things over the years because they were expensive and not
A lot of
because they
H.R.
had a
Geiger.
particular taste,
Got it.
right?
That
So
tells me
it's
a lot about the person itself.
yeah, it's not like it's a collection of all impressionist stuff or anything that seems themed or anything like that. It's all just this grand collection to have a collection's sake. But a few minutes go by, and in walks possibly the most upright man you've ever seen, uh, he's actually quite tall, somewhere in the neighborhood of like, 6'7", 6'8", like very tall man walks in, and you notice that the doorways have actually all been made so that he can walk through without any problems. And he kind of nods at everyone and goes, well, welcome. I might ask why you've come to visit my home. He's got a neat
understand the heist.
beard.
Well, you see, we're performing a bit of an investigation for the Earl of Essex House, and his son seems to be missing.
Oh my.
It's hush hush, but the reason I tell you is because I want to impress upon you the importance of our visit today. One of his
Are you one of those Pinkerton men from America? Like in all the stories?
Do I think if I say yes, he'll be nicer to us?
I don't know.
Oh my god, don't do it.
That's
a tough one.
I'm sorry.
Wait, no, take risks, do it.
You know what? Actually, I think no. Pinkertons bust unions. I'm a union man.
Oh, I see. Very good. Very good.
But which is very contentious in London right now.
Also a big thing you probably
stance to
shouldn't
take
have
with
said.
landed gentry.
Judge
all right.
just like kicking you into under the table.
Just having a mini crisis in the back. It's fine.
Stop bringing up unions.
Sorry, players. It's happening. All right. Well, his son had gone missing, and after we spoke to some of the members of the staff of the house, the driver told us that one of his compatriots was from this house. So I don't know if he's a direct descendant or son or something like that, but we didn't get a name because the driver didn't know. But if any of the young men in their early 20s were friends of Christopher, we'd like to speak with them.
Oh, I see. Well, you must mean Adam. He's my youngest. I will see if he's awake. I do believe. Should I contact anyone? Any of my people that I know at Scotland Yard to help with this? It seems very serious.
I don't think we're there
professionals.
just yet.
We are professionals, and we've been engaged to find Christopher. So, if you wouldn't mind just keeping it a bit hush-hush. The Essex family doesn't want anyone else involved at the moment.
And wake him up if he is asleep.
Why would he be it's the afternoon, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay.
And there was one time I discovered Everclear, and that night was
No, right? Yeah,
The Pusheen.
yeah, it rocked me.
it'll do that. All right. If Essex hasn't contacted Scotland Yard, he will have a good reason.
Oh, very good, very good. Give me a moment, and I'll go fetch him.
Thank you, sir.
And he strides out of the room. You hear him in the hall, and he is bringing one of the, pull things. And then you hear some muttered conversation out in the hallway, and then you hear his footsteps go across the marble hall to somewhere else.
Are we concerned at how tall this man is?
Okay, you know what? Hey, relax. He's just tall.
I don't know.
Well,
Did you get
Look,
sneezy?
if the sun is also tall, that might tell us something.
That they're
True.
tall?
True, you aren't
Genetics?
sneezing.
I'm not sneezing, but it's not. That just means they're not malicious. I'm not entirely sure how this works. We haven't had a lot of experimentation.
Or they figured out what you are, and they're hiding their musk in an effort to kill you eventually.
I assume all Vaesen are going to eventually try to kill me.
Not that leprechaun. I think that leprechaun was very much happy, though. I'm going to throw down with him one day.
And then you might die.
I mean,
Maybe.
to be fair, you chose to come to this man's house. If he was a Vaesen attempting a plot to murder you, I don't think he would have been waiting around for the off chance that you arrive.
Hey, that's
he's
what
very
they
clever.
want us to think.
I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
He's Vaesen, they Trixie.
Yeah, I don't trust this god over our universe. I feel
They
like
can-
he's trying to kill us.
They can play the long game.
Quiet voice.
Yeah, like what the?
Yes.
Look, if we take the big man down, we complete the mission. We get the XP, okay?
You turn into this psychopathic society of people that you're just like, you're a little strange. I think we're gonna have to kill you because you're probably a Vaesen.
I'm not. Listen, you made a big deal about how tall this man was. I
was
have to
providing
know.
a colorful commentary about the experience your character was having.
How dare you give NPC distinguishing features?
How
Very
dare.
suspicious.
All
His
right.
name needs to be Tom.
It's a
He's
mystery.
5'10".
I have to cling to everything.
All right. It's cool. It's cool. So a few minutes later, a much younger man that does share some of the look of the older gentleman that you met. He's not quite as tall, but he's over 6 foot. He's like 6'1". But even that's hard to tell because he's slouched over and he's got big bags under his eyes and he does not look well put together in the least. Like he's wearing a shirt and breeches, but he's not dressed for the day.
Stop describing me, damn. It hurts.
And he kind of comes into the room and he goes, "Is this something about Christopher?"
Okay. First off, what the fuck? Look at you. Dressed down before Lady Sean? How dare you? Who do you think you are?
Diablo,
Okay,
we're
I'm
here
sorry.
to make enquiries.
I'm
Let's
sorry,
not
I'm
criticize
just-
our new friend.
just come up in
And he-
here on
he
my
kind
lady
of-
like this.
He kind of like opens up his eyes a little wider and tries to take in who's in the room, and he's like, "I don't recognize anybody here."
Hello.
Kind of like,
Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Lady Sean of Rose House, and these are my colleagues. We have been retained to inquire about Christopher Essex. We believe he's a friend of yours.
"Oh, well, yeah, yes, of course he is. Yes." And he throws a look at Diablo and then does a full formal bow and takes your hand. And then stands back upright. And he right after he does that, they come back in with your glass of milk and tea for everyone and set it up on a table.
Thank you.
And he says, "Well,
It's a good
I
year.
haven't seen Christopher in a while. Not
Could you
since,
tell us about the last time that you saw him?
well, we'd been out uh, having a good night. We'd seen a show and stopped to have some drinks with some friends, and then we headed home. And Guillory, his chauffeur, dropped him off, and then brought me home here. I didn't want to ring the house and wake anyone.
Of course, wise. What show was it, did you say?
Oh, just a second. I believe we saw. I believe we saw Rats.
Oh, sounds very entertaining.
Yes, it wasn't that great.
How old are these kids?
Early 20s. 22, 23.
Was
All right.
there a girl with him?
Yeah.
No.
Are you and your friend going through that most common human thing where you were both discovering these chemicals in your bodies which lead to certain emotions concerning other people? And might he have a connection to someone at the theater in that manner?
Oh well, he you know, we went with friends. Uh, Everyone was properly chaperoned. Nothing untoward, if that's what you're suggesting.
Chaperone? Who's chaperoning you?
Well, all of the ladies had brought someone with them from their house.
Oh, of course. And which ladies would these be?
Yeah.
Oh, and he kind of gives you a list of several-ish people. Like, it's a collection of names.
You know where they live?
Of course, I couldn't give you addresses, but and he kind of gives you a rundown of the other people that were there that night.
Awesome.
5 or 6
Sorry,
others.
how long ago was this? I forgot. I deleted
It
that.
was like a week and a half.
Okay.
And when, out of character, when did he disappear, Christopher?
Like a week-ish ago.
Okay, so this kid saw him a couple days before.
Yeah, somewhere in that
Ish.
timeline. And,
Any archaic or mystical slight things that are on his body that might suggest he was into paganism or witchcraft or anything like that?
I think that's empathy observation.
I'm asking him.
Oh, you're just asking if he's into paganism. No, I don't know anything about that. Okay. It's certainly not what the show was about. It was about rats. I assume I don't actually know the show, but
it's a Newsies, right?
And you said that he hadn't taken an interest in a lady. How close were you to Christopher?
Oh, we've been friends for years. We've seen each other at dances and soirees, and there's only so many people that attend these things.
We had been told that perhaps he had taken interest in a woman who might have given him this, and Saoirse will hold up the flower.
Oh, well, I don't think I saw anyone give him anything from our group. No.
Do y'all visit the brothel any?
Well, sir, of course not.
Oh, okay.
Did you notice anything strange about Christopher's behavior the last time you saw him or shortly before?
I No, nothing too strange. Just he decided that he wanted to spend the year getting more cultured, I guess. That's why we kept going to shows more often.
Did all of the shows perhaps feature the same actress?
Well, well, we did see a woman. What's her name? Autumn is her name. I don't remember her first name.
What color was her hair?
She was in a couple of them. Her hair's blonde.
Mm,
She was quite pretty. I will give her that. She was a good singer.
Like a London 8.
And London 8 is basically like a Suffolk 10, so that's just math.
Yeah. Easy math.
So yeah, we saw her a few times. I'm trying to think if there's anyone else.
Was there a particular theater that he preferred over the others?
Without turning the page to my notes, you had those names, right, Kurt? The theater names?
Yeah. That was the Palladium, the National Opera Coliseum, and the Piccadilly Circus, the outdoor market, are the only ones that I
The
had written
Palladium.
down.
That's the one. That's where we saw Rats.
Okay.
And she was in that.
Ah, good to know. Good to know.
And no indication that those two were. No, go ahead. I feel like what I was about to say would be weird, but you go ahead.
Almost every this might be an unnecessary question, but is there a reason you're so tired? It is definitely well into the day.
Well, I was out late last night, at the club, and then went around with several other friends.
Is there
I know
someone
what kids do at that age?
Is there someone you think might be a little closer to Christopher than you might have been?
Oh, no, not really. I don't think I ever saw him out with anyone else.
Did he have any enemies?
Sure, we all have some, at least social enemies, as it were.
But any particular rivals of his recently?
Nothing recent that I can think of. The season hasn't really started yet, so when we get there, that's when things tend to turn up the temperature on all of those kind of things,
Yes.
Well, is there anything else?
I can't think of anything yet. Could we come back and ask you more questions later?
I suppose. Do call ahead.
Of course.
We did.
Ah, yes.
We'll leave you with a card. If you think of anything, could you call us?
Oh, certainly. I can't think of anything else, really.
You mentioned a club that you attended last evening. Was Christopher a member of this club?
Oh, certainly, yes.
And which one would it be?
You people and your wanting of names of things.
We have to investigate all the things.
Yeah, Gophers Club. I got it. There you go.
The curse.
Trying to think of famous clubs. Can't think of.
I
mean, we have the
Jacob-
Furry Club in DC. I don't know if that.
I don't think he's a member of that one.
Yeah,
could
that's
be.
fair.
We don't judge.
It's a franchise.
It's Pratt's.
Pratt's.
And having been around London, it's a gentleman's club. It's in the style of gentleman's club before that referred to a place where you saw ladies get naked.
Wait,
Yes.
so are there ladies who's getting naked at this place now? I'm trying to clarify.
No one, I don't think.
You guys just drink and look at
think
each other.
They drink whiskey and talk about how much money they have.
Yeah, and cigars and whiskey and
You've
pipes.
never been hungry, not a day in your life, have you?
No, of course not.
I'm gonna have to step out. This milk might be a year that I don't find favorable to my tummy. He's gonna get up. I'll meet y'all outside. Lady Sean, little kid. Set out.
I think we've taken up quite enough of your time. Thank you so much for your answers and patience with our questions. I do hope that it will help us find Christopher.
Well, I certainly hope so. I'm sure they must be beside themselves over there. You know, Uncle Robert is probably just very upset. Do
Indeed.
give him my best
Hmm.
if you see him.
Thank you for your time, and I'll follow Diablo out. Also, get better art, and then I'll leave.
And he just kind of looks strangely after you, and like he looks around the room full of art that would make art museums jealous, and he's like, "What?" So yeah, there you are all able to leave, or you can stay in the art room longer if you'd
You
like.
sure the tall man doesn't accost us?
No,
With his
no,
tallness.
he doesn't. The footman by the door lets you out.
So when we get outside, so do y'all think we should start with the Palladium or?
Oh yeah.
If I recall, he had said that we've been told that Christopher had taken an interest in a young woman. Am I incorrect in that?
No,
that's
that's
right.
But she was supposed to be a young lady. She wasn't an actress.
Well, I didn't think they knew who she was, right?
Yeah.
Hmm.
And I think love transcends like what you do.
Oh no, that's not the issue at all. It was the question of, is he? I had thought that it wasn't anyone who worked at the theater, but I could be wrong.
Was she titled? Is what you're asking?
Yes, because if she was titled, this would be much easier.
Right.
Well, he did give us the list of names of the friends they were with, but he didn't seem to think Christopher was that close to any of them.
Right.
Well, and if any of the ladies had been missing, I think that would be a lot larger news.
Yes.
If I remember correctly, I got the feeling that the Earl wouldn't want to assume that his son was dating someone below his station.
Oh, so you think he's in denial?
That's how it felt to me, but I've seen disapproving fathers before.
Yeah, I have a similar inkling. What if the father, Duke, kidnapped this woman, killed her, dumped her body by the river?
That's not what I thought. How is that similar?
Because it's both along this track. Like, it makes sense. Everything's coming together, right? Does this investigation?
If she's in the Thames, we're never getting her back.
True.
I don't think we'll ever will.
I mean, technically, we don't need to get her back. We need to get Christopher back. So
We're
Yeah.
not proving anything by dredging the Thames, is what I'm saying.
right.
No, I think it would be wiser to start at the Palladium.
I agree. Let's do this. Are we going in
Alright.
like hard or soft?
I think we're just going to the opera.
Are you just gonna go to the show, or are you do you want to try and sneak around the place first, or case it? or
Yeah.
What?
how do you want to do it?
You tell me, what level of access do you think your title can get us, Lady Sean?
Whatever you need.
Perhaps we could get a tour.
Yeah, let's do this.
That might be nice.
I mean, you do have a box seat that'll be ready for you tonight when the show
Right.
is
Yeah, but we
Um,
want to go in before a nice tour of everything.
if anything, actors might gossip before the show.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like they're making any money.
Maybe one of us could get in ahead of time that way.
Tornado, you and me.
Sure.
Right.
I mean, now, just so I understand, you cracked your neck. I don't think we're breaking in.
Nah, we're just gonna ask if we can get in.
Right.
Yeah.
certainly.
And
So-
do what?
Now, I don't want to speak out of turn, but I feel like we're going to be a little conspicuous sneaking around backstage where, and I look at Saoirse, who looks like she definitely belongs backstage at a theater.
Rude, but accurate.
Saoirse might have a better time blending in.
As what?
Oh, well, I just thought that maybe you might fit in with the backstage crew of a
Yeah.
theater.
Oh no, I see what you're saying. Yeah, Lady Sean looks too fancy, too regal. But hey, we have Circe here who doesn't. So no, that's a good point. Maybe you should go by yourself, Circe.
I don't think Saoirse should go by
What?
herself.
I
But
asked the question again. As what? An actor?
Poor person.
I don't.
a writer? You are a writer.
You are
There
a
you
writer.
go. Yeah.
That is true.
Maybe you're a playwright selling your next big
Uh,
story.
Saoirse like looks in her pockets and finds a whatever the 1920s version of Legal Pad is that has
Yeah.
probably the worst play written on it.
What if
Just something a
you
little
use your,
postmodern.
It's
what
the
if you use
first
that
draft
special
of
power
Cats.
you got?
It's the first draft of Cats. Sorry, what?
Oh, actually, would we know about your ghostwriting power?
We've seen her do it.
We've seen you
Yeah.
do it twice.
Okay. What if you just use your little power there to I don't know, call up some famous playwright and have them write you out a play?
Isn't that plagiary though?
Well, we just need you backstage. We don't.
How about this?
What
I
if
think-
I just
Tell them you're a reporter. Come to
I could be a theater
do a story
critic.
about the show.
Everybody loves a critic.
that? Excellent.
don't.
That's a good plan.
I've broken knees of critics. Yeah.
Okay, option one, I could can't, is there a, okay, hold on. I'm trying to
Wait,
figure out if
doesn't Diablo
Saoirse
have a
can
makeup
lie.
kit?
Yeah, I have a makeup kit and a dress. You want me to?
Disguise
What's
you.
the show happening tonight?
It's Rats. It's still on
Yeah, I
its
can.
run.
Hold
Is that
on.
one with the poems about little rats and what they do in their dreams, right?
I did just look up the play. There's no chorus, or that would be a lot easier.
All right. Here, I'm pitching this real quick, okay? All right,
Excellent.
we go back. I dress up. All right, we both go as wife and wife. All right, you have this dream of being a playwright. I'm a royalty who's like, I think that's stupid, and I'm gonna show you how much this is stupid.
I have a terrible idea.
Okay, I'm in.
Let's hear it.
What if Diablo and I just go as actors?
Right. No, I feel this. Yeah.
understudies or something.
Yeah. I mean, aren't we all wearing masks in the end?
Right.
Whatever you feel
right.
most comfortable with, Sarsha. Honestly, if you feel like posing as an actor is your wheelhouse, let's do it.
My worry is more out of character. My worry is more that people aren't going to be as cooperative if we have a critic or if we have someone who's if we're just trying to talk to other working class people.
Actors.
But they might be big fans of Jackie. Also an option.
Ooh, we could sell out Jackie. We've done this before.
We have used this before, and it did work.
What if you go in before the show and infiltrate, and then plant the idea that Jackie is in the audience, and they might want to meet him afterwards?
That sounds like a good plan. I think.
Yes. Oh, okay. I think this is all coming together. Let's mishmash like mashed potatoes and bones. Put it together.
The plan has gotten away from me.
Okay.
We are just asking about anyone who might be dating an earl, the son of an earl, nephew of an earl.
So you and I, we're going to infiltrate before as actors. All right. Lady Sean and her arm candy Tornado will go to the box seats. We let it slip that Tornado is there as Lady Sean's side candy for the night. This will attract some people's attentions, maybe some gossip. You know what I'm saying?
I don't want to go back on this plan now.
After the show, we'll come down to greet the actors and pump them for more information.
Exactly.
Yes. I think this will work. Well, and if it doesn't work,
burn down the theater.
We'll figure something else out.
So that's where Diablo gets it.
I always thought it was Diablo's influence on Sean.
Secretly, no.
I know I said that they wouldn't talk to a critic, but am I wrong? Would they talk to a reporter instead?
I mean, it kind of depends on if you show up at the back door of a theater and you're like, I'm a review critic. I want to come in and ask a bunch of questions. I don't know how well that would go.
All right, plan 3. We get a janitor's.
But I mean, if you just went with the plan you were just talking about, like,
yeah, I'm not going back on an Alaska. We're not committed because.
All right, I'll go. I'll fix up both our makeup and get us dressed and ready. Don't embarrass me.
Sure.
I'm not going to argue with you anymore.
I'm going to do
about
your
it.
makeup.
Yes. I'm scared that if I argue with you, I will have argued with you and had my makeup done, and the only difference is that I've wasted time.
So here's something I'm going to throw it out there because I just want to see how well you get the makeup done for the both of you. And I don't know if that's maybe like precision medicine role?
I think it's force physique.
No.
Powder your face.
I can do.
They do call it a beat, but not that way.
Yeah, I would say precision works fine. What or is there a precision? Or are you talking about agility?
Precision is the attribute.
Precision is like agility. Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay, cool.
So I would say
precision
precision.
stealth?
You could make it. Yeah, it could be. Let's do precision manipulation.
Ooh, all right. I'm good at this.
Reasonable.
Oh heck yeah. Okay. Yeah. Wait. Do I have to roll for this as well?
Well, no. I mean, like, you can help. You can assist and give Diablo a +1.
Yeah,
I'm gonna help.
And how much does
I will point out that
makeup kit get us?
Oh, I'd say that's another +1.
Excellent.
We don't want to come in too made up so we can spend time in their dressing room.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just make you look different. Okay, I know how to not make someone up. All right, I'm going to put makeup on you in a way that showcases the beautiful parts of your face without creating any illusion of something that may not be there.
I'm going to regret saying this, but I trust you. So go for it.
Okay. He'll get out his scalpel and start.
I regret this immediately.
It's like put the paint on it. Okay, there we go. Get a little blood in the cheeks. Oh yeah. 2 successes.
Oh, all right. So you have accomplished the goal of London Calling makeover. Like the both of you look very good and very well put together.
Oh, and I'm gonna put on the Sean wig.
And
oh no.
What I will say is it's going to give you +1 on a manipulation check when you are interacting with people.
Heck yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, let's go out the back door. I don't want Sean to see me in the Sean wig. So
I believe in questioning a lot of things, and this is one of those times I may renege on that statement.
yeah, don't
Let's
do
go.
it. Don't ask. It's taking me quite some time to get this.
I don't need to ask about this. This is
Okay.
just normal.
Let's do
So,
this.
Normal
you
for
go
Diablo.
to the theater, and you get across town without any issue. Are you just like it's too far to walk? So you're gonna cab it, or
Yeah, let's get a carriage. Let's try to find that guy I talked to before. I trust him.
There's I'm sure there's something in the game, a mechanic in the game for forgery, isn't there?
Probably stealth, or
yeah, I would say it's probably precision stealth. Like you're attempting to skullduggery something, you know.
I'm considering forging us just like a letter from, I don't know, a person who also is a financier of the Palladium. Is like, these people need to work for you.
Kubrick.
Give them that.
Ooh,
This is from George Orwell.
Yeah.
you can absolutely do a precision stealth roll to
Yes.
and basically it's not that you're attempting to, because you're not trying to make like official government documents or something, right?
No,
It's
just
mainly
a
just to
friendly
like
letter.
yeah, and this roll is just to signify how likely it is that when you give this letter to someone, it's probably not going to be someone that's best friends with the person that you're forging.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
just want the least amount of questions, so we have to make up the least cover story.
Sure.
What would you make that?
I mean, yeah, like, well, I'd say precision stealth or precision manipulation, whichever one's better.
Let me double check something, because I think I have a mechanic that lets me use some inspiration instead of manipulation. I don't know if I didn't take it.
I think you did. I remember you talking about that before.
That may be ghostwriting.
Oh.
Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. I should write these things down better. Inspiration for getting clues. Okay, if I had taken journalist, I could do it. I guess I have the stats to do so. I could take journalist right now.
Okay.
Is that cheesy? Can I do that?
Do it.
Heck
No,
yeah. Okay.
because now you've got a commitment as well. So
Yeah.
Excellent.
yes, it helps you
in
right
that
now.
case, I have oh gosh, I'm gonna regret this later, but because I will take journalism, and that lets me use inspiration instead of manipulation when I need to. So
right.
literally this one time.
Who knows how many times it'll
Cool.
come up.
That would be precision. Precision is 3, and then inspiration is 3. And success, anything. 1 success.
All right. So you think you have a passable letter of introduction from like a wealthy banker that happens to be a patron of the arts.
Excellent. That's all we need. Just as little cover story as we need to make up.
Sure. So you guys get over to the theater, and the front is all locked up because it's still early. It's not even after the dinner hour yet. So, I guess it's probably around tea time. So you get over to the theater, and like I said, the front is all locked up still. But it's got on the marquee out front, Rats, starring Ruth Autumn.
Ruth. Oh my god. How locked is this door? Are we talking about chains or just, a flip switch on the other side?
It's not chained up. Like this is a fairly decent theater, and the neighborhood is not too seedy.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna put my hand on the door. I'm just gonna try to jolt it open. Just...
I
Okay.
think there's a side door for actors, but excellent.
Oh, is there?
Try the
Is
front.
there?
Usually.
Yeah, no. Okay, yeah.
Usually.
You know that
Yeah.
better than I do.
Saoirse just points to the side door where other actors are walking
I've
in.
never been in. Okay, yeah. Let's go over there. That sounds way easier. I'm glad we work together.
You get over to a side entrance and knock on the door, and the door opens, and there's a woman standing there, and she's got pretty fair skin, big glasses, right? Like fairly you could tell, they're not like Coke bottle thick glasses, but they're pretty serious glasses. And she kind of looks you over and goes, "Yes?"
Well, hello there. We are here. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, dear.
No, go. You have started speaking.
No, I mean, your voice is way more tantalizing than mine. And you have the piece of paper with our credentials on it, or at least our backing.
We are new understudies for the play happening tonight.
I'm Catherine, and this is
Elizabeth.
Duper.
What?
Elizabeth Duper.
Yeah, yep. That's the name we picked.
I'm just gonna start to come in like I own this place.
And she goes,
and I'm gonna hand her the paper that just says hey, they're here to shadow.
"Oh." And she kind of looks it over. Why don't you guys do empathy manipulation?
No. Okay.
Well, you can decide which one of you rolls it and which one adds +1. So
Doesn't your journalist thing give you inspiration instead of manipulation?
yes, you could do that again. Yeah, you could use inspiration instead.
That's exactly what yes.
Surprisingly,
yes, I will roll 6 dice again.
You have +1
plus
from
2
Diablo.
more for our makeup job.
Yeah. And I'll help too. What do I need to do to help? I just take us.
You just say you're gonna help.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna help. Do I still have my angry condition from last game?
I don't think you did anything to clear it, so you're probably
still I'm still fuming. I'm like,
I'm still frightened.
Oh no.
Oh god. I need you to know that we rolled 9 dice and I still got 1 success, which is I'm happy for the success. I'm very mad at these dice. I need new dice.
That's below average.
1 is still fine.
Backup plan, we burn it down. Okay.
Yes. Backup plan, we burn it down.
So she takes a minute looking at the letter, and then she hands it back to you, and she goes, "Well, all right, I guess you can come in. Just stay off the stage. Obviously, you can watch from the wings. Yeah.
Can
if
you
there's anything you need,
We're just doing town and learning the ropes.
Yeah. And how about this Autumn lady? Like, we have heard about her from afar, and we would greatly appreciate an opportunity to see her face to face, maybe ask one question. You know how it is getting up in this life. We're just trying to make that money.
Oh, well, when she gets here a little later, I'm sure she could take you,
Yeah.
I could make sure that you get a chance to talk with her while she's getting ready. I don't think that's a problem.
Well,
Excellent. Thank you.
Okay, 1 second. I have a dog causing trouble.
Just trying to sprint.
All right. He's out. Let's do this. Okay. Where is this person? Let's roll.
Just runs inside.
Yeah.
I feel like every time we play, I play a game, I play a bad act, like a character who's just bad at acting. I don't know why. I don't like winning.
Who likes winning? I don't know.
It is sometimes more interesting when you fail at stuff.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Also, Rats seems like a very boring play. I have looked it up.
It certainly won't be a bestseller like your first draft of Cats, or
Yeah, it's
eventually when it
definitely-
comes
Like
out
the-
on movies.
It's definitely not cats with rats.
Definitely not cats with rats.
Do you think rats have CGI buttholes, or is it just the cats?
I think it's just the cats.
It's just the cats.
God.
Also, I just double checked because I'm a nerd and I'm looking into seeing when postmodernism started happening so that I could, because I'm like, this is bad art. It's like, no, it's probably just postmodernist, which is a me joke.
Nerd looking up stuff to
no.
learn things.
Yes, in fact.
It's the best.
Oh no. We're okay. Like unless it was like nice like really, really classic art, there is sort of a chance that this is like that this guy collected modernist art or post. Yeah, okay.
I kept thinking H.R. Geiger art pieces all around. So that's what was in my head.
I don't
could
think
see
that's what
that.
they had.
It just had
It's just
art.
Geiger.
Yeah,
I was just
I
picturing like so many versions of like Thomas Kincaid, like but like older.
Or maybe they're all
My-
pictures of like the Slender Man because there's a tall person
It's
in
all
their building.
Magic Eye.
Yes.
I was expecting it's all Magic Eye paintings, and you just have to squint.
You have to sit there and stare at them for an hour. I think
They're
it looks
all
like a
velvet
boat.
clown paintings. Very, very expensive velvet clown paintings.
Ooh, yeah.
All right.
Nice.
I love
Sorry
that we
about
had
that.
to give a warning at the top of this show. Like, don't worry, we might be careful. We might get into some scary subjects.
Velvet clown
Art.
paintings.
The whole time we're like art
Clowns.
and rats.
We brought up some terrifying things.
So is this person we're talking to? Are
This-
they an attractive person?
Uh-oh.
She doesn't seem unattractive, but she's not stunning or anything. Just
All right, that's good enough. I'm gonna start flirting. I want to like get her to like me, in the typical ways. Like, hey,
okay.
you want to sit down for some coffee? I might treat. Like, I just moved into town. It'd be lovely to meet some local friends. Maybe a board game night. I don't know. The
Sure,
usual
okay.
stuff.
So empathy manipulation.
All right, and we get plus. You said +1 with the makeup.
+1 from your makeup.
Okay. Do I get any pluses for Sean's hair?
Is it
I-
literally my hair? Did you make a wig out of my hair?
Yes. I imagine like years of just natural shedding. He's like just
Like-
started collecting them and intertwined it into
Cleaning
like
out the brush daily.
Yeah, exactly.
Coincidentally, also called a rat.
What?
Never mind.
Yeah.
Keep going.
So, no, I mean, I don't think that's a bonus thing.
No, that's fair. All Okay, this all right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's do this. 1 success.
Okay. Well, she kind of looks a little embarrassed, right? You know, that like, oh, someone's talking to me and I'm not a star, I'm not an actor, I'm, you know, like a stage manager kind of a person. Uh Clearly she's fairly impressed with you. Uh she's like, "Yeah, we could go have a have tea or a coffee or something sometime."
I'd love that. Honestly, I haven't shared any interactions, anything meaningful in a long time, and I think uh, winter is over and spring has sprung, and I would like to engage in human contact, and maybe this cold heart of mine might melt.
She,
So yeah, let's have some tea.
I think she kind of gives you a look of like, all right, it's kind of like poems, I guess. Yeah. Like she's confused at first, but then laughs anyway, just to be chuckly.
No, that's how my flirting usually goes. So that tracks.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Can't
Yeah.
I can't tell if you're very sad or very poetic. And often these are both.
Just sad.
Saoirse starts walking inside.
Sure. So you head in, and there's some crew that are, you know, they're moving some set pieces around and getting things set up for the night. This clearly doesn't look like the kind of production that like resets everything after the show. Like they come in a little early the next day to get it all set up. So there's a guy up in the rigging and he's hauling up backdrops to get them ready to drop when needed, and there's somebody that's moving, I don't know, a big piece of cheese. He's on wheels that he's kind of pushing off to the side. There's like a costumer that's there, like steaming rat pelts. Yeah, that kind of thing is all happening.
I'm so excited for what you think Rats is about now.
I have not dived into the history of Rats. It's a vaudeville kind of a thing, I know, but
Yeah, no. I'm not reading the Wikipedia page, I'm just glancing through it.
Yeah.
Cool. Where are green room, dressing room? That thing.
Oh, and she kind of points you down. Down a hallway, around the back, and you can head down there.
Excellent, thank you. And I will, unless Diablo, do you want to split up or do you want to stick together? It's a bad idea to split up.
No, I'm fine right here. You go on ahead, and I'll just fan myself and be like, "Let's go get that coffee." Or you need any help around here? Like, I'm here for you. That's a weird face. Never mind.
No. Oh, now you think something's weird.
just my face in that moment, but luckily we're fine.
Well, and they say kissing is out of favor when gorse is out of bloom, so
what does that even mean?
It means you can always make out. Go with God. And she just starts walking down the hall.
All right. Diablo's gonna set that as his goal, like before she comes back. Like,
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
You're gonna just straight go for it tonight.
No. I'm not like going. It's just, I want
burn.
Yeah, I want a connection. Right. Yeah.
Sure, okay. All right.
Then maybe we can exchange this soul for tornadoes.
Wow.
What?
What?
Just an inner monologue of
That escalated
Diablo.
quickly.
Just. So how you doing? You go on ahead and Cersei with your thing. Like, I'm curious what's gonna happen with your scene.
So sure, yeah, let's do walking down the green room hallway.
Sure. Yeah, I'm gonna look for a dressing room where there might be other actors vibing, hanging out. People get in early.
It takes you a little while, but like you see that Ruth Autumn, she's not here yet. Her door is shut. But
Is the
you
door
walk a little-
locked?
Probably not. I'd say no.
Can I get it and sniff around almost literally?
Sure, you
Heck
can.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll let myself in and just like start looking around.
Sure. You don't. Nothing seems to twig your nose senses immediately. But there are some gorse flowers in a vase.
Any notes on the flower or on the vase or anything to signify someone sent them to her?
No. Mm-mm. They're just there.
Convenient. Odd. I just sort of want to like fiddle around the room looking for like fan letters or
All right.
I don't know, a diary. Diaries are very useful.
Logic investigation?
Sure. A thing I can do. Wait, logic invest. Oh, 4 and. All right, 6 dice. Oh god. Oh. 2 successes.
The dice right over there. Okay. So
just let it in my lap.
You spend a little time searching around, and you do find some like it's like in a drawer. There's a drawer that has like a collection of the cards that would have been sent with flowers, right? And there's probably 15 or 20 of them in this little drawer, from all sorts of gentlemen. But you do find one from a Christopher.
Excellent.
Possible the right person.
Haha.
You don't find a diary in here.
Didn't think so.
But you do find like a society page, sort of little publication, little pamphlet kind of style thing. The TMZ of the time, right? The Lady Whistledown.
Lady Whistledown.
Yeah, that kind of, yeah. That style of publication. And it does talk about how both scions from Essex House and Norfolk House have been seeing shows that aren't necessarily all the best, and that they have been spending a lot of time in theaters that aren't the most classy of places, and hanging around places like here to see this show. And so obviously at some point they were spotted here.
Interesting. I'm going to steal a little bit of the gorse in the vase just because I can. And
Sure.
she's not in yet, so she probably doesn't have anything. And I might grab that card as well.
Sure.
From what we think is our Chris.
Certainly.
Is anything from the son from the Duke of Norfolk? Did he send one?
You know what? You got 2 successes, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely, there is one from an Adam. Also.
I take both. like a point and click adventure. I put that in my pocket and I
You do.
sneak out.
You can figure out a way to cook with it later.
I'm gonna rub it
Yeah.
on everything. This isn't applicable in this circumstance, but I'm gonna do it. Yeah, I'll take both of those. If there's nothing else, thinking of weird things that people would hide things in. I got nothing. I look at her shoes. I look and see if her shoes are in.
I mean, she does.
Is her costume laid out?
There's several costumes on a rack.
Can I sniff the costumes?
I love this
I
weird
mean,
question.
no one's gonna stop you.
We're normal. Have you looked for a coffin?
I don't think. Is there a coffin in the room?
There is not a coffin in the room. There is there is a like a
Or a
divan,
hairbrush.
right?
Did you say minivan?
No,
A
like
divan.
like divan, like the classic sort of fainting couch style.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
That makes me.
Is there a hairbrush or like basically I just need the thing that might have touched her body? I'm gonna sniff it.
You were like
Sure.
the creepiest super fan right now.
I know it's really bad.
It's like, oh yeah.
There
I'm
is
not trying to be
absolutely
creepy.
there's absolutely a whole variety of like makeup tools and brushes and combs and hair pins and
I'm gonna sniff her hairbrush.
Sure. You can stand there and sniff the hairbrush.
I'm just gonna walk in.
Why don't we do one more logic investigation?
Okay.
And this
I
is
think-
not
okay.
this is basically just to determine if someone walks by and sees you sniffing a hairbrush or if she walks in, or, you know, that's
I'm
kind of
so scared right now. I really wanted to get caught. I got 2 successes.
Okay. So I mean you take a hearty whiff and you smell a fairly clean well perfumed hair.
I give up. Yeah, I put the hairbrush back. This is stupid. And like walk out of the room. Like I'm not unconvinced this isn't just like a boy who just ran off with a girl he liked. And
Look,
there
you
is
haven't
nothing else to
lit
this.
the items in that room. So just saying. It's another sense we're not using.
You want to go right for the Vaesen anaphylaxis. Huh?
Licked. I heard lit. I was like, Gorse is flammable, but no.
I mean,
burn the, that probably solves our problem.
Saoirse sort of walks out grumpy. Looks
Sure.
kind of dejected, but is fine. I guess I'll look for the other. Like we have confirmation that this chick who also happens to have a very common flaw. I feel crazy on so many levels. I'll see if I can find Diablo and let him know. Unless you're like getting your swerve on, in which case I will let you do that.
Well, let's
I'm
flash
doing
over
the-
to Diablo.
Diablo moves.
So far you've been fairly successful at impressing the stage manager. And she seems to like she's clearly got some things to be doing, so she's working, right? But like you're kind of hanging around and making conversation while she's doing it, and everything seems to be going well to you. The question is, what's your end game goal here?
I mean, certainly not the soul thing.
Well, I mean,
yeah, but I would think right now it is just trying to get as close as possible so that he could start like asking them questions concerning this autumn. Like, you know, just laying down the seeds and hopefully he can harvest it later. And he'll like if she's doing anything physical, he'll like go sleeveless and like help out.
well, sure. Yeah, while you're chatting, she ends up having to like, you know, re-put marks on the stage where some of them have come up, you know, so she's like putting down tape in spots and that kind of thing. So you're helping out and just chatting, and like you feel like you've established a good rapport here. So if you had specific questions you wanted to ask, you could go for it. I'd give you +1 on a roll to get your
Yeah.
questions answered.
I guess my first one would be, my friend used to come down here, said that everything was perfect. His name was Christopher. Right, that's his name, right? Get
Yes.
that right? Okay, sweet. Christopher, and I'd like to describe him based on what the father showed us a picture, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll describe it as like, have you seen him? I know he was pretty close with Autumn.
I think you guys took a picture with you when you. I
Oh
remember
yeah,
him
did
giving
we
you a
have
picture.
yeah
Photograph. So do you want to show the photograph or just
if
describe?
That's cool, if everyone, yeah.
I don't see any reason why you wouldn't be able to.
Yeah. So I'll show the picture. Like,
Oh, and she kind of. Oh. Technical difficulties. 1 second.
oh no. Cersei, come back to us. Man, that look.
She does
It is
not like what Diablo just said.
I know, right? Like,
very
I'm
displeased
backtracking
with
here.
your behavior.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Oh my god.
But you kind of show her the picture and she looks at it for a minute. Why don't you do a manipulation and empathy roll and see
Okay.
how likely you are to get an honest answer?
I wish I could take a picture of this.
I have no idea what just happened.
Why are there two? Why are there two of you?
Oh, I couldn't get a screen grab before the two were gone.
Oh, because that was a very intense look you were giving us.
It was.
Or me.
Oni
Yeah.
face. Yeah.
I was scared.
Yeah.
So out of 6 dice, I got 4 successes.
Holy
4
shit!
sixes.
Oh.
I know, right?
Ooh.
I gotta leave the game more often.
Yeah, like, hey,
Okay.
Google Dice Roller. Try it.
I'm scared of it.
So she looks at the picture and she goes, "Oh. Yeah, that young man, he waited outside the theater side door for like a week. He brought flowers every night and waited for her. And I don't know exactly what happened, but it sure looked like they walked off together the other night, you know."
Was she like amicable to this sort of creepiness?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think she was pretty flattered, really.
Yeah.
There were several other, stage door suitors, I like to say, that that would hang around, She's a big star. People try and do silly things when famous folks are around.
Yeah. I mean, look, you and I both know it's a stage manager who's carrying this show.
She kind of blushes and gives you like, "Oh." But yeah, no, she. I don't know. It was probably about a week ago, I think, the last time he was here.
He hasn't been here since?
I haven't seen him. Mm-mm.
Yeah, that's weird. Because I was trying to look, because he's the one who told us about this place, and so we were very excited, and I was hoping to see him sometime, but I guess not. Do you know where they went off to? Like, where's the place you go to enchant a young man like that?
She looks at you and she kind of laughs, like, I don't know exactly where they went, but I know she has an apartment not far from here. I'm not going to say they went and did anything like that. that would be rude. But
Oh, I mean,
know.
life is short, and sometimes you gotta skip to the good ending before a bad ending finds you.
So yeah, just like 2 blocks over.
Is it just like, and he's like pointing, but also like doing the like, is it over there? Is it over? The green screen's messing me up. It's making my muscles look smaller. It's like this big.
Yeah. Yeah, she clearly is Myron, as they say. But yeah, she gives you kind of directions on how to walk to get over there.
All right. I mean, that's all I wanted. So, no, I'm not saying that, but I will keep the conversation nice and light. He's going to take all his focus and have a normal conversation. Nothing about souls, eating faces, the fact that his friend's going to die, or that he's wearing his charge's hair on his head. Just normal stuff, normal. Until he sees
you are
Cersei.
Super able to blend in and not be weird. And she just seems happy to be like kind of hanging out with somebody that seems to want to talk to her.
At some point on her way back, Saoirse has found a copy of the script just because.
Yeah, they're laying all over.
Yeah. I think this is a bad play. She like walks back to Diablo.
Yeah, hey, I mean, you guys have met already, but what's her name again? Did we ever ask? What?
No,
we did not. I would have assumed in the time that you were flirting, you would have asked.
Yeah, what's this name? Now that it's a reoccurring NPC and will be here more than just today. I mean, we need the gardener. We need a theater in our place, right? Is there an option to put a theater? We need a stagehand.
A theater
at our estate.
Her name is Patricia. Last name, right?
And I forget what was Patricia Walsh. And what was your last name?
The one you made up?
Yeah. Was it like Dobie or
Duper?
Duper.
Yo, Duper, yeah.
A weird excellent. Yep, that was the name we picked.
Yeah. Perfect name of the times.
Perfect name. Definitely not weird. Do you want to see if we can find any of the other actors?
Actually,
what name did you pick?
Catherine Escobar.
Yep.
Sounds like my name. Derpy, why don't you and I go get my new friend here? Let's go. I'm gonna get you some treats, Patricia. Okay. I'm gonna go get water, maybe some tea. We'll bring it back. We'll have a lovely time, some cakes and such. Did you want anything specific?
Well, that's lovely, but it's gonna be showtime soon.
Look, if you're like me, you're gonna have pre-show jitters and you're gonna want to munch on something delicious and sweet. Okay? Let me do this for you, please.
I'll leave the side door open. That would be wonderful.
Right. Thank you, Patricia. All right, Lady Derpy, let's go. Just like take a hand.
And Patricia kind of gives you that what's the deal look.
Like between me and Miss Derpy?
Yeah, yeah. Like, is there anything going on? Like, she's trying to suss out if there's anything going on, right? Because she's been impressed for a long enough time now that she's like, I need to know.
It would be a cold day in hell.
And she just kind of laughs and off you guys head.
We are good friends in the historical context. Looking back, we are good friends.
Sure.
Yes. So any other actor? Did you get anything? And I'll show Diablo the cards and
Yeah, none of that matters. I got her where she lives. Let's do this.
oh, she'll be here.
Yeah, this is a great time to get into her place. The guy was last seen with her going someplace.
That's
and if
true.
she's some sort of succubus, coffin, vampire eating person, we gotta go after that. All right. So let's roll. Let's roll hard.
Well, okay. I don't dislike this plan. I just feel like we should talk to the actors and see if she's has any other odd habits, but I didn't find anything in her room. Let's go.
Lock and load.
Should we leave a note for Sean and Jackie?
We can call them.
We can call them.
Yeah.
You can find.
Yeah,
a
we're probably
phone.
still getting ready.
Yeah.
For the show.
Is there a
They for
Doctor
sure have
Who
not left yet.
box?
Yeah, can we find a call box?
Well, it doesn't. I mean, it's not a police call box, but you could find a standard British red phone box. Yes.
Excellent. Yes, let's change the plan. And we'll find a phone booth.
So, the phone starts ringing, and you guys hear Hawkins answer. Yes. Just one moment, and then he fetches the nearer of you. I don't know who would be closer if you're both in your rooms getting ready.
Who wants to take this call?
I'll take the call.
I feel like Saoirse and Diablo are crammed into the phone booth together
like
with the phone between them.
Cheek, yeah, like. And he's like counting to see how long it takes the butler to get the person. Like I can be faster than that.
Like, hello, this is Sean.
Lady Sean, hey, this. Oh, God, I forgot who we are.
It's Saoirse and Diablo.
Yeah.
Yes, I can hear that.
We think.
Sorry, we've been in deep cover.
Hardly.
We think that the last time we saw anyone saw Christopher was with the lead actress of this play, and she won't be at the play at her home when the play is happening. So we were thinking that we
Are you
would
suggesting breaking into her home?
Yes.
Yes.
I also made a real connection with someone else, I think.
I'm so happy for you, Diablo. That's
it's weird. I don't know
lovely.
how I feel about it. Sorry.
When are you going to tell that woman that you're well, if anything else, not Catherine Escobar?
I guess when you stop being Dobie or Dorpin.
I hope
Who's
that happens
being what
soon.
now? Do you want us to meet you and help with this burglary, or are you just calling to tell me that you're going to do it?
Oh, I'm calling to tell you that if we die, I don't know. I don't have that many things.
Yeah, Lady Sean, if she dies, I'll make sure I'll handle the body. Don't worry.
Don't eat it.
Saoirse leans away in the phone booth, the 3 inches that she can get.
Oh my God! It's just gonna take the phone and put it back.
We'll meet you after the play.
Let's not speak of this ever.
Okay.
Did you hang the phone up?
Yes.
I think she slowly hangs the phone up.
And she just, all right. And then she'll go and tell Jackie, well, I think we're still going to the play because they didn't tell me where it was, but Diablo and Saoirse will be breaking into the main actress's home for some reason while we are at the play.
Is that safe for them to do that by themselves?
Probably not, but they hung up. So,
well, Diablo's a good fighter, so they'll be all right.
Well,
okay.
This can only end well.
Sure.
All right. Well, I guess I have your arm for the evening. Are you ready?
I am.
And he'll provide his arm. But you don't have to take it. And he
She'll
heads
take
out.
it. Appearances, get it,
Ah.
even if no one is looking.
And heads into the theater. Well, I guess, do we need to get there?
Well, so at the appropriate time, you step out front, and Mr. Guillory is waiting with the car, and he opens the door for you, and you get in, and he drives you across to the theater and lets you out. You can stop by the will call and say that you're the guests of the Essexi. I don't know. Essexes.
Sexies.
Yeah. And now we're back to the. Yep, that's exactly.
Yeah.
We're back to the sexy skexies. So,
Sorry.
And you can get the tickets to be let in, and an usher takes you up to the box. And you have a wonderful view of the stage, and you are up along the side. If you were an American president in the previous century, you'd be fearful of assassination.
Okay.
Excellent. I'm gonna give a little handwritten like calling card type thing to the usher, and ask him to give it to Miss Autumn. And on it will say the Lady Sean of and then it is the longest Welsh town name. The one.
Galphadorian.
Yeah.
The one that everybody
Yeah,
knows.
the one that everybody knows. I'm not going to pronounce it because it'll take the rest of the show. And the famed Jackie Tornado wish to meet you after the show. Basically, that's what it says on it.
Yeah, sure. And he takes it and promises he'll deliver it. Yeah.
So Sean, if you don't mind me asking, how did you come to have Diablo's service?
Well, I did need an assistant when I came to London, organizing all of the seances and keeping up with the social calendar. That's a full-time job on its own, much less the conjuring of ghosts. So I employed Diablo. He's quite reliable and not easily frightened.
I get that.
Has a strong stomach for the type of work that I do, and is very loyal.
I have also seen that.
If a bit strange.
Well, that's an understatement. But I sense a little. It's hard to get through that outer Diablo. It's sort of it's oppressive, really. It just sort of it pushes on you. Anytime you're in his presence.
I like to think of it as an aggressive exoskeleton.
Right, but when you get to know them, it's like there's this soft underside to Diablo that I can't quite get there yet, but I feel like there's something more to Diablo.
Absolutely. I mean, there is an inner Diablo that I don't think many get to see. Probably not even myself.
I mean, they seem to care very deeply for you, and that since we've taken up work at the Rose House, it appears to have extended to the rest of us. I don't know about Saoirse.
Oh, I think Diablo cares for Saoirse, but he does. They do like to give a bit of taking the piss, as it were, from time to time.
That is true.
But if I've learned anything from listening to the thrashings and screams and muffled cries in the night that come from beneath the bed, there is a small frightened child hidden somewhere inside that pointy chitinous exterior.
I could see that. Well, it's real kind of you to take them in, and I'm sure he appreciates it.
Well, it's a favor to me as well. I mean, we're coworkers. Diablo likes to say they're my servant, but I think of them as a coworker.
Well, that's nice. And you're okay with him making a wig of your hair?
A what now?
Well, they have this wig that's I swear it's made of your hair. I'm pretty sure. I don't know if they said so. He says so many things that it's hard to know what's real, but it is very much the likeness. The shock red and
No, I can't say that I was aware of that, and
I fear
appreciate you bringing it to my attention.
I hope I didn't say too much.
Oh no, you can never say too much.
All right. I hope you enjoy the show.
I do as well. Have you ever been to a theater before?
Well, yes and no. Not like this. I've been to a small theater, and there was shows in the war. They occasionally they'd have somebody come out and do something for us, but
Oh, well, that's nice. Bit of entertainment. Lovely. Well, I'm not sure. I've not heard of this Rats play before, but hope it's better than it sounds.
Hope so.
So the lights go down, the play starts, and I think that's a great moment to take our little break. So we will take 5 here. If you're watching live, we'll be back in just a minute. And if you're not, we will magically reappear, poof, like nothing ever happened. So we'll see you in a couple. Be right back. Almost forgot to write down the time code. Cool. So the performance goes on. It is really not great. It is just not that great a show, but it keeps people laughing and it's weird. My dog is full of trouble tonight. He tried to eat a whole bag of honey sticks for my children.
Oh no.
And now he's nosing around trying to take headphones and all kinds. He's just a mess. Anyway.
Oh no.
That's what I get for ending up with a dog that's as tall as a small horse that can reach things on tables at will. Like, it's fine. So if you guys choose to, you can watch the show seriously, or it's just the two of you in this big box that could seat 10, right? You could totally Mystery Science Theater or Statler and Waldorf it through the whole thing. That's fine too. The show kicks off. Let me see. You can both do one, either a logic vigilance or empathy observation. Well, no, it's more logic vigilance. Let's stick with that.
Logic vigilance. Okay.
It's a whole 3 dice for me.
Ooh, same.
Your powers combined. You
we're so good
dice
at this.
With a chance.
No,
y'all have succeeded
no
on 2.
I have.
Got 1 success.
All right.
Okay. You do notice when the show starts, you feel, and I think this is perfectly appropriate, you feel sort of a magical pressure, right? Like it pushes out from the stage, and you can tell that it's actively getting people to laugh, to find the show fun, to have a good time. It's just a general sort of feel good push, right?
Okay.
Like, it's not enough to make you giddy and you're not like, ooh, I just ate a whole bunch of mushrooms I shouldn't have. Like, it's more like just this, hey, the sort of like when you've had a couple of drinks and you're just having a great time feeling before anything goes off the rails, and it's just that kind of push that's like, hey, this is awesome. Yeah, I love you, man. This is great. Like
The magical rose-colored glasses.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And it just, yeah. Now you're aware of it, so it probably affects Jackie more. So through the show, you start out and you're like, this is really not looking that great, and then you're like, oh, that was funny, and it's sort of just builds throughout the show. You're like, oh, that wasn't too bad. I wasn't expecting a lot, but boy, this really turned it around, kind of feeling.
Since I'm aware of it, I'd like to try and see if I can hone in on the source of it, like if it happens when a certain actor is on stage, if it gets stronger or goes less when somebody goes off stage, that kind of thing.
Sure, you can try. Probably that's probably the empathy observation.
Okay.
Because you're specifically like trying to link it to someone and see if somebody's doing anything weird.
Yeah. See if somebody's giving off a vibe. I got 2 successes.
So it's strongest when Ruth Autumn is on the stage.
Okay.
But you can't pick out anything she's particularly doing to make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
But that's definitely the sort of the ebb and flow of it is when she's front and center, it's stronger.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool.
And I think Jackie's just trying to make jokes the whole time. So he's like, I didn't expect a show about rats to be this cheesy. And he like waits.
I think Sean doesn't get it at first because she's too focused on like, where is this magic coming from? She's like, yeah, I guess it is kind of cheesy. It's just like it doesn't occur to her that it's funny.
So he's like, oh, well, this ain't going well.
You sit through the rest of the show. We'll unless you're planning, are you planning to get up and leave the box other than like going to use the restroom at intermission, or do you have any things you want to accomplish other than that during the show?
Should we try to get backstage before the show ends?
Maybe a little bit before the show ends, we could go down to the actor's entrance.
Right. Okay.
Cool. So let's go to the outside of an apartment building where we find Saoirse and Diablo standing in front of the door.
I'm gonna open it.
Okay. Do you know how? Is it? Do you think it's locked?
I'm gonna try.
The front door is not locked.
Oh, we're just at the bottom of an apartment complex, not the apartment.
Yeah, you're at the bottom of the apartment building. It is not anywhere near as large as the apartment you visited in Liverpool. It is just sort of a 3-story building, kind of not super wide, but it looks like maybe there's 3 or 4 apartments on each floor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's go in and see if there's like a name on a mailbox that we can figure out where her apartment is.
You step in, you do find like a push button call, like you can buzz to talk to someone in the various apartments from down here, which is kind of new and modern.
Ooh. Witchcraft.
None of them have the name Ruth Autumn on them.
Well, crap. Is there any synonyms to Ruth Autumn on any of the mailboxes? Short of going through every floor and sniffing every door, I do not think that we're going to be able to find out what her apartment.
Is there a like a guard or anything down here? Like, I don't know, is
it
anyone
doesn't-
down here?
No, doesn't have a concierge or anything.
Okay.
What time is it? Is it like evening?
Yeah, it's evening now. The show has begun.
I'm gonna knock on a door.
Sure. Do you want to like push the button to talk to somebody, or are you just gonna go to a door and knock?
I have a
I'm
bad
gonna
idea.
Go to the door and knock. What you thinking? Dobie?
I am gonna call one of there is no like superintendent or anything. There's no like.
Oh, there's like one of the buttons is labeled manager.
Okay, I'm gonna call the manager.
Sure.
Oh my god.
You're gonna Karen it.
That's not the plan.
So you push the button, and after several seconds, a voice comes through, and it's very, very tinny. Like, yeah.
Hello. I have a delivery for Miss Ruth Autumn.
Oh, another one. Hold on. And you hear a door at the back of the first floor hallway open up. And you hear an unusual gate because it's step, step, thunk, step, step, thunk. And out comes a much older man with this. It's actually a beautiful cane that he's walking with. It's sort of this spiral sort of design to it. It's just well carved and very nice.
All right, nice.
And he thumps out and he goes, "Yes."
We have a delivery for Miss Autumn. We could just take it up.
He kind of looks at you like you don't have a package. And
I
he's
hold
like,
up the two notes from the guys.
Oh, okay. All right. Good call. Good call. He goes, "Well, you can go slip it under a door, that's fine."
Could you tell me which one it is?
203.
Excellent. Thank
No,
you.
I'm sorry. 303. Excuse me. Third floor.
All right.
I'm afraid we don't have any elevators.
I'm sorry. Do you need anything else brought up while we're going up?
No, I'm fine. Thank you. Thank you. Quite nice of you, indeed.
Do you know Miss Autumn well?
Oh, she's been here in the building for, well, probably almost 2 years now. Nice enough. She always pays her rent.
Well, all right. I'm just gonna go upstairs. I can't think of. Yeah.
Oh,
Unless
have a good night. And he
Diablo.
turns around and walks back.
All right, let's do this. Stay in character.
She's not home.
Stay in character.
All right.
So you get up to the door, and it's a door.
Is it locked?
It is locked.
All right. I'll try to pick it.
Yeah, I'll
Sure.
help. I don't know how I'm gonna help, but I might know how to pick a lock. I'll help.
Like blow on it.
Yeah.
Lucky doorknob. Okay.
I'll look for
Uh,
a pamphlet on lock picking in one of my
Alright,
pockets.
So precision stealth, and you can have a plus
All right.
one from the I guess backseat lock picking help.
Oh my god.
Backseat lock picking. No,
All right, Karen.
it worked.
So what can you do to push? What do you have to do?
You have to take a condition.
All right. Let's take the condition. Is it like a mental condition? I assumed.
Well, you could go either way. Like, maybe you were starting to pick the lock and it slipped, and you cut your hand, so you could take wounded.
Ooh.
Or
yeah, I'll take wounded. Yeah, let's say like I just completely like lacerate my left hand, and there's like this like puddle of blood like forming on the ground as he blows on it. But he'll try again.
okay.
Oh God!
Did you fail?
Yeah, I failed again.
With the extra dice from me helping.
Yes, I had a total of 6, which I guess isn't that great. I don't know.
It's a perfectly serviceable number of dice, but yes. So you seem like you're trying again, and you think you're about to get it, but then it slips, and you leave like this big bloody handprint on the door.
Yeah, I'm like, fuck it, and I'm gonna kick.
Ah!
All right.
Just
So, physique force physique.
Yeah.
He fails again.
I'm-
Please don't fail again.
Why you gotta bring that evil on me, Ricky Bobby? Oh my God. Okay, I can push this though, right?
You can. I'll let you push this one too.
Oh my God.
Watching Diablo actually just lose through a door.
He's
Yeah.
slowly. The Vaesen are not the danger. It is his doors.
It is the door.
Full on meltdown.
Doors.
Yeah,
While
he like kicks it and like, I
are you concussed? Are you okay?
I think like he like his foot like shatters, like one of his toe just like flops, and he's like, hold
You go
on.
full Viggo Mortensen on the door.
It's just like, hey, maker this door.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going. I'll see you guys later. This was fun. 10 dice, no successes. Again.
You've come,
Just, like,
come to the end of the road, Diablo. There's nothing left in the tank.
Diablo
pull out
versus
his
door.
gun.
Okay.
Okay. Is there a window? Like, are we at the end of a hall? Is there a window? I
Yeah,
know we're on
yeah.
the 3rd floor.
It's probably like at the end of the hall. There's a window, and you can see that there's a fire escape down the back.
Yeah, I'm gonna get onto the fire escape.
Yeah, you go down
going
to the-
around.
So what's the second condition you took to push that second roll? By the way.
Oh, I got battered, which was yeah, when he kicked, it was his toe like cracked. So he has like a broken toe. So he came in fine, angry but fine, and now he is leaving this door with a lacerated hand and a broken toe.
All right.
All right. So you get down and you open the window and climb out onto the fire escape. It doesn't even seem particularly rickety as far as fire escapes go, right? It seems like it's pretty okay. And you can see a couple of the windows that would probably go into the apartment you're trying to get into, but it's gonna be like a reach to get over to them.
All right. This
I
is the
got
one-
you.
The first time I'm gonna fucking fail a roll to do this. I'm gonna lean out and see what's like, kind of go for the right, hopefully the right window here.
Can I assist? Just like,
Her apartment doesn't have access to the fire escape window.
Doesn't look like any of the apartments have a direct fire escape. They'd have to go
Seems
to the
like-
hallway and then out.
That
we set
seems
the place on
dangerous.
fire.
Yeah, because the 1920s were known for all the public safety laws.
Oh,
Oh
absolutely.
yeah, hey,
yeah.
we should be OSHA. We should be
Yeah.
OSHA, like here and now. Let's slow down.
Yeah, I'll lean out and see if I can get to the window. I'm gonna
And can
die.
I help? I'll just like grab your other arm with like my bloody hand and just squeeze it tight. Like,
I've never seen that go wrong ever, so let's
yeah,
go
it's like,
for
I
it.
got you.
So, this is probably agility and physique.
boy, do I not have sub points in that.
If
But
you
you're-
fail, I can throw you through the window.
But you're gonna get a +1 from Diablo helping.
I got 3 dice, kids.
Yay! We're just gonna die. Make new
This
characters.
is how we die.
I mean,
They died doing what they loved, I guess.
Breaking and entering.
Yeah.
Hold on, before I do something really stupid. Is it cheesy to try to pick the lock myself? Probably.
Don't do this to me.
I'll say
okay?
you can't because you tried to help. You
Excellent.
were
Okay.
involved in that first roll.
Also, if you open it after I just got my ass kicked by it, I'm just gonna go home.
I'm just out of bobby pins. Well, my third option was, can we take the door off the hinges? But no, I'm gonna open. Okay, so I have to break something in order to push this?
No, you can take any condition that makes sense. So it could be something physical, but maybe it means that you're frightened because you don't like heights.
Lacerate your hand. Join the
I'm
brotherhood.
considering just taking exhausted because this has been a weird
Sure.
day. I'll take exhausted. And what? I get 1 more dice, or do I get a reroll?
It's just a full reroll.
Godspeed.
1 success.
Okay.
Thank you,
So-
Satan, wherever you at. I'm sorry.
You
for
guys have
pissing on your
successfully
manhole.
opened the window to this well-warded apartment because apparently it is very difficult to get in.
Fort Knox.
Yeah.
Good God.
So you lean out and you manage to slide your hand up and hit the inside panes enough to get it to come up a little bit. And the window wasn't locked, so you managed to get the window open. And then with Diablo's help, you kind of reach far enough out that you're able to grab onto the side of the window and pull yourself over.
Give me
And you are
some-
now inside a darkened apartment.
I am inside. Oh shit.
And you're standing from the light coming in the window, you can see that you're standing in a smallish kitchen. There's a little table with a few chairs near the window, and then you can see the stove and the oven, and there's an ice box on the side.
But no microwave. That's troubling.
Nope.
Okay.
Hey, I'll be by the door. Open
I'll
it up, please.
open the door. I'll go and see if I can get the door open for
Roll to unlock.
You
No,
you,
it's
go-
Saoirse versus door.
you walk your way around the inside, and from the inside, it's not even a roll, right? You just unlock
Yeah.
the door and open it.
Yeah.
The outside
Yeah.
is a crime scene, though. It is smeared with blood.
Yeah. We're
It has
if-
impact marks on it, and
even if she isn't a Vaesen, this is bad.
What do you mean?
This is a lot of blood.
It's my. We're fine. Look, I'll. If they don't have a mop, I'll lick it up myself. All right. Let's just do this quick.
Okay. I'm gonna choose to ignore that. I'm very tired. And I'll into the and back into
Like-
yeah.
Limping inside, oh god.
I'm gonna I'm gonna give a hanky to Diablo to stop that bleeding.
Oh,
sure.
thank you. I'll return the favor sometime. When I was holding you earlier, I was trying to get your measurements, so maybe I can make you a dress or something. If you tell me what your favorite colors are, or style.
Let's save that as a problem for future us.
Okay.
All right. We're in
so you're in the apartment.
the apartment. Excellent.
Are you turning on the lights, or are you trying to maintain a maximum level of stealth?
Yeah.
Is it nighttime? It's
It is,
nighttime, isn't
yeah.
it?
There is some light coming in the windows because it's London, right? You're not in the middle of
Yeah.
nowhere, so
I'd rather look around without the lights on, just in case someone happens to glance up at the apartment. Although her name's on the bottom.
sure.
Yeah.
So you can do a looking around. So
Yeah.
Let's do like logic investigation. Or
My
I'm
is there a
checking-
roll.
is there a specific place you want to look first, narratively? Like that's
Fridge.
I'm gonna head bedroom.
Okay,
Okay.
I'll get the fridge because that's where I would put stuff.
Absolutely, you would.
sure. So I will give you that the fridge is not full, but it is stocked with a decent amount of things. Right?
Meat.
There's some like butcher paper wrapped packages in there, and there's some vegetables in a little drawer, and
So if I lick said meat, and touching on this secret backstory Diablo has, does it taste familiar in a certain
Does it taste like
way?
long pig?
go
Like
ahead.
he'll just be like,
Go ahead and roll logic learning.
Really confusing.
it's been a while, so yeah, it's
You're remembering back to that flavor
yeah.
profile.
Raw?
Yeah, have you ever I've eaten chicken raw. I'm fine. I didn't get it.
Well, you don't think it tastes like people.
Whoa, don't give out my secret backstory.
Listen,
God.
Soylent Green is peach.
so it certainly doesn't resemble anything that, like, physically it doesn't look like it's a part of a person, right? And I don't just mean obviously, like, there's no foot or
Yeah.
head or something. I mean, like, whatever this cut of meat is, it looks like it's from a cow.
Well,
Right.
I mean, yeah, legit. Like, if you put something in your fridge, you have to skin it first. Like, you wouldn't just have a foot; you would have the meat of the foot.
On the off chance that we are in the home of like a fey creature, are you sure you want to just be eating things?
Yeesh.
Okay.
Look,
Well,
you have
informed
your
decisions.
investigation is sniffing things. Mine is licking things, and between us, we solve crimes.
So you guys you get to the bedroom and you can do your investigation of the bedroom. So
I truly hate what I'm about to ask, but yeah, I'm gonna take a big whiff of the bedroom.
okay.
I'm gonna smell our pillow, man.
Well, you specifically go to smell the pillow, and you get the same aroma you got off the hairbrush.
Just person,
yeah, it
boring
smells
scented
like-
person.
Smells like a normal scented person, but go ahead and do your. Oh heck, I forgot how we did it.
It's a
Sniff roll.
Yeah, it's like a physique roll and something else.
Like physique and vigilance,
Yeah, I got.
or was it
zeros
just
in
straight
both.
physique? I don't remember.
If it's straight physique, either way, I'm only rolling two dice.
Okay.
Either way, we're failing.
Yeah,
We can only sniff and lick so much.
I'd like to throw out that I did get 2 5s.
Oh,
I got 2 2s.
so you do start to get like that like eye-watering itch,
Mhm.
right? Like that, like, oh,
Someone
just
has
wanna-
cat.
I want to squint because something in
Yeah.
here does not agree with me entirely.
Excellent.
But not particularly from her pillow, just sort of in the room.
Okay. Well, I wasn't wrong. I just don't know what she is. I guess hunt around the bedroom. Actually, does she have any books?
She probably has like a pile of scripts on her nightstand for
Hmm.
other shows.
Nothing on her desk that says like my dastardly plan to destroy
No.
Palladium.
Like
Oh,
her
does
desk,
she have a phone?
she does not.
Okay.
There's not a phone in the room. Or
How do you
in the
call
house.
up to them?
There's a buzzer thing on the wall near
Oh,
the
okay,
door.
okay.
That's like a speakerphone, really. But
Excellent.
it
Ah.
her desk is really more of like a fancy vanity, right? Like it's got the bulbs around the mirror and tons of little tiny drawers full of random accessories for hair and makeup stuff and all that kind of thing.
She may just be a person.
No, we're in too deep.
I feel a little like I'm getting something, but mostly I think she's just a person. Maybe she's like Jackie.
Who's Jackie?
The Texas tornado.
Oh, I guess I don't call him that. I guess I see him as something else.
What do you call him?
Nothing.
Let's clean up this blood and we'll figure something out.
Just because I can, I want to look at her closet.
Oh, okay.
Get some dresses.
You open the closet and it's pretty it's pretty stuffed full of clothes. You definitely have sniffles and itchies going on though.
Oh God. I will get my own handkerchief out.
Oh my God,
fine.
Chronicles of Narnia, go through.
I'm not climbing into the closet full of allergen. I will die. I'm gonna climb into the closet. No, I'm not going to.
Okay.
I do knock on the back of the wall of the closet. I am curious now.
The back of the wall seems totally solid.
I climb into the closet
You step
and
in the
half
closet.
close the door.
You like push clothes to make room for you in there, and you pull the door shut.
Double checking when that book came out.
Do you want to close the door all the way, or do you want to just close it most of the way?
I poke my head out from the closet and I say, Diablo.
I got you, and I'm
am
gonna close it on her.
There we go.
Okay, so you are in a pitch black closet, and your allergies are real bad. Like your nose is running to an embarrassing degree now. Like your makeup is mostly bad now. Like it's you start to have the raccoon eyes as the watering eyes have just ruined. Yeah.
Can I get out now?
Do you find anything?
I can't see anything.
Why don't you feel around a little bit? Do you smell anything?
No, I can't. And she just like, I can't smell anything.
Feel around in there.
I'm just getting snot on this woman's clothing.
That's fine. We don't care about her.
Wait, she could just be a person.
We don't care about her.
Do I fall into a magical world where there's
you do
an
not.
allegory line?
Allegory Jesus.
Is allegory Jesus here?
No. Mm-mm.
I think it's a closet.
I'm gonna turn
It
on the
is.
light and open up the door.
You are
to the
100% sure
closet.
that it is a closet. I will give you that for free.
Okay,
you
let's
turn on
figure
the light
out
in the
a
bedroom
way
and
to
open
connect the closet and the tall guy. They have to be.
I
in on
think
it.
unless her clothing is magical, I think it's just a closet.
up. When you turn on the light, you do notice that on the desk there's another vase of the yellow gorse flowers.
I think she's just an actor. Yeah.
And then
Cool.
like he lets you out of the closet and you breathe some fresh air and you're doing a little better already.
Well, this vase, is there anything like he'll kind of put his hand in it, kind of shuffle around through the dirt, see if there's anything deep inside?
It doesn't have any dirt. It's just water and then the flowers,
Oh.
in it.
There isn't like a handkerchief somewhere that has the badge of the house for Norfolk or Essex or anything.
No.
Anything from the kid.
Anything from the kids.
I mean, no. Mm-mm. I mean, you can do a whole logic investigation roll to be more sure. There's nothing out on the surface of anything that gives that away, or
All
Does
right.
she have a mop? I'm gonna start cleaning up that blood.
You do
can
that.
certainly
If I
find a
was-
rag and a small bucket to get some water in.
If I was a baby lord stealing harpy, where would I hide evidence? The bathroom.
Behind the fridge. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm running out of options here. Bathroom, look for books, look for weird mushrooms growing in her sink. I'm running out of ideas.
So I'm gonna clean up this mess, okay?
Mhm.
Why don't you go out, grab the others? I'm gonna lay in wait underneath her bed. And we're gonna get some answers, some one-on-one time.
We can see her after the show.
Yeah, but we can't accost her after the show.
I bet you we could. We shouldn't. I'm not advocating that we should accost her.
Look, she saw the boy last.
She's clearly something is wrong.
Exactly.
And she just and Saoirse just like across her sleeve at that point, like she's running out of tissue.
Oh God, come
Something
on, get a
is
hold
wrong.
of yourself. Like,
I could. Oh God.
Yeah. Jeez.
Outside. I clean up. We'll go outside and we'll figure this out.
I'm going underneath that bed.
Actually, with the light on, can I see anything new in the closet?
Why don't you do a logic investigation?
Nah.
-1 because you're still
No more rolls. We suck at it.
1 success.
Okay.
7 dice, man.
You can tell that the closet, like, it doesn't have the same carpeting as the rest of the room.
Okay. Can I pull it up?
Sure.
Is 203 right underneath this?
Yes.
Oh fuck. Oh fuck. All right. You remember? He was like, he stuttered with the 203. If I had a murder basement, it would be right underneath the apartment that I live in. Don't shit where you eat.
I'm gonna I'll lift up, see if I can get the carpet up a little bit.
You lift up the carpet.
Is there a secret door?
There is a secret door.
Yes.
Shit.
See, we were okay to do violence.
All right.
We gotta call the others.
We probably should. I also really want to open the secret door.
Okay, open it real quick, and
I'm
then
just gonna open
let's
it real
call.
quick.
Okay, real quick.
This is how I die.
Okay. You open the secret door, and it's dark down below you, right? Like
I can't see. Okay.
because the light from the room isn't shining in the closet and down.
What's the kid's name again? Christopher?
Christopher.
Hey, Christopher. You down there, buddy?
You don't hear anybody respond.
All right. Okay. At this point, we should probably go find the others before we just climb into the secret door.
I will
That
make a
would be a
point of
bad
saying
idea.
no one down there said, "Who in the hell is talking to me from my closet?" Or like, there weren't any other responses to be like, "Who's Christopher?" No, there's just nothing.
I have seen enough horror movies to know you don't just continue investigating when half your team is away.
What time is it? Is the play still supposed to be on for several hours?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, I will say that by the time, if you guys, like, put everything back, leave this apartment, and walk back to the theater, by then, that's about when they're going to be coming out to go around to the stage door.
Okay, so
The magic of narrative time control.
Someone needs to stay here to let the rest of us in.
No. We will find a way to get back in. We know there's a window and a fire escape.
Look, we went through a lot to get in here. A lot of sacrifices were made.
We are going to leave. We are going to leave.
Hey, Cersei, honestly, I think you're really brave. And I'm going to let everyone else know when I go get them.
I hate you so much.
really need to get here quick. Here, I'll give you this gun. All right,
No,
you got
that's
a gun
not.
now.
That's not what we're doing. Are you really gonna
Someone-
try to leave me in this freaking house?
Yeah,
apartment?
like here's a
No.
gun. Here's a gun.
I'm
You're
the.
fine.
I'm not the person who's gonna get left in here. I will die.
No, you won't. I believe in you.
This is not.
You're just too darn pretty to die. All right.
We've come to an impasse because I'm a bad person who really wants to do this.
Do it. Do
Saoirse
it. Do
would
it.
not. Saoirse would hate. Would know better. This is a bad idea.
Do it.
How much time do we have till the play ends? You think? Like 20 minutes or like an hour?
Like less than an hour, I'd say.
Less than an hour. I don't think we're gonna get back here fast enough. I think that she's gonna come back here first, and then I'm going to get killed. You stay. Wait, shit. We both go, and we'll trick our way back in.
Cersei, go. I got this.
Almost worse.
So
I'm
Am
gonna
I
hug
gonna-
Cersei. Oh.
This is somehow more uncomfortable than being in a phone booth with you.
And he'll take off his red wig.
Is there any way I can convince you not to stay in this apartment?
We did so much to get in.
We can get back in. We've proven we can
How
get
much
back
will
in.
it cost?
We
Who
could just
else
go
has
into
to hurt?
203. We could just try to get it into 203.
I'm worried. Okay.
I am very worried. We should not be here without everyone else. She probably has another engagement tomorrow night.
Okay, but we just fucked up their door.
you cleaned
We-
it up.
we cleaned it
It wasn't a
up.
problem.
The dents, though.
Well, I mean, there is some evidence that something happened to the
You
door,
like rub
maybe,
them
but
out.
it's not like super obvious.
We should go before something really stupid happens.
Okay. You know what? If this happened like a week ago, I'd probably kneecap you and leave you in here just so.
I do not doubt that.
But I think
I
I've
would-
grown fond of you since then.
It's a little like befriending a wild animal. I'm pretty sure you're going to kill us eventually.
I don't see you as a wild animal, but okay. Come on, start heading down.
Yeah, we'll head back out.
Sure. You guys
Just
can leave.
limping with my lacerated hand.
Yeah. So you guys start walking back to the theater. We'll go back to the theater. You guys you can tell that it's coming up on the big final number. So if you wanted to duck out and be by the stage door early, now's the time. If that's what you wanted to do.
Yeah, we can do that.
Sure. So you get over there and are you like knocking on the door or are you just gonna wait?
Is there anyone standing there, like preventing people from just walking in?
I mean, there's nobody on the outside, but the door is closed.
Okay. Well, I mean, we'll wait for the show to end, I imagine.
Okay.
And then we'll I'll rap on the door.
Well, you hear the crowd inside applauding, right? And you're actually a little bit bummed that you didn't get to see the end.
Oh, just
like-
me or?
Yeah, just you, just Jack.
Oh, okay.
You're like, you were really kind of getting into it, and you probably got to the point where it's time to leave, and Sean is like, okay, let's go. And you're like, oh, you know, that's the feeling you got anyway. But you knock on the door, and Patricia, the person that you don't know her name, but she opens the door and kind of looks at you like, yes.
Howdy, ma'am. My name is Jackie Princeton, the Texas Tornado. And I wink at her. And this is my companion for the evening, Lady Sean. We were hoping
Yes.
to have a moment of Miss Autumn's time.
Oh, well, you probably should wait outside.
You're muted, Sean. Or
And I'll say, I did send my card ahead with the usher that the famous Jackie Tornado and myself, the acclaimed occultist, would be happy to greet her after the show.
I forget. Does your fame thing have a role associated with it? It does, doesn't it?
I have +2 when I roll to manipulate people if they know who I am.
Okay. Well, go ahead and roll an empathy manipulation. Go ahead and take your +2. I don't think Patricia knows who you are in particular, but the like sending a card ahead, and you guys both look real good, and you're American, so that's a little unusual, you know.
All right. Wow. That is so many 5s. I honestly. Okay.
I think I found the secret to winning this game against you all. Ask you to roll normal things.
Well, I don't want to get angry, but I am going to push this roll. I guess I'm going to get angry.
You
Okay.
mad she doesn't know who you are?
Listen here. I have 1 success.
Okay.
Now you listen here. I'm not the type to just be left at the door waiting.
Okay. So like you start up with that and you get a little loud, right? And clearly she was not anticipating that reaction, right? Like it was very much a like, no, don't be, it's fine. It's fine. Here, she should be backstage in just a minute here. And she's kind of scared, right? She's like, come on in, come on, please, you'll be fine. And she closes the door behind you and she kind of guides you over to the start of the dressing room hallway. And she's like, you can wait here and she'll be back as soon as, and you hear the crowd is doing like the second bow, right? Like they're just about done and people are clapping out front. You see a lot of the backstage crew that are like starting to put things away for the night and clean up as much as they can so they can get the hell out of here.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of a thing.
Well, I'm sorry I raised my voice. I missed the end of the show to come down here so I could be in before everybody else. And you know what? I wish I'd have seen it. I'm gonna have to come back tomorrow now.
I'm gonna have to come back tomorrow. She's like, oh well, it'll be fine. We'll still be here, I promise. And she kind of gives you the like up and down look, right? Like she's like, he's not a bad looking guy. All right, could be worse. Kind of a look. And then she kind of walks back to stand by her. She's got, like a podium with a script on it and like a couple of flashlights to signal people to do stuff during the show, that kind of thing. We're all kind of sitting there on the podium. She goes over and waits there. And then, a couple more moments go by and then you see actors starting to come backstage that are just like sweating through heavy makeup and they're just like, oh, thank God it's over for the night. Please get out of the way. And file down the hallway. And then you see Ruth Autumn come around and she's just beaming, right? Like just clearly super excited. She's got a big bundle of flowers that somebody picked up off the stage and she's carrying them back with her and smiling, and she's chatting with a couple of the other co-stars from the show, and she's going to walk right past you unless one of you stop her.
So I'll just step into her path and
okay.
hold out my hand in greetings. Miss Autumn, the Lady Sean, your performance was absolutely radiant. So pleased we could make your acquaintance. This is my friend Jackie Tornado from America, the Texas Tornado.
It's a pleasure to meet you, ma'am.
Well, I'm very glad you enjoyed the show. And she's giving you the 1,000-watt smile. And she kind of nods to Jackie, and she shakes your hand, and she's like, "Well, I'm glad you could come and enjoy the show. I hope we put on a good show for someone that has traveled so far."
You know, I have to say that it was an excellent show. I didn't come into it knowing what I was going to get, but I liked what I got, and I have to thank you for that.
Oh, well, thank you.
Up close, do we have that same feeling that we sensed in the audience?
You don't actually.
Interesting. Okay. While Jackie is talking to her, I want to kind of observe her to see if she has any little like trinkets on her person, or if there's like any bits of her outfit or something she's wearing that seems to be like magical in some way.
Let's do observation empathy, because
Okay.
you're studying her. And she continues to kind of have small talk with Jackie while you're kind of looking her over.
No successes. We are rolling so good tonight.
Great.
You want to get mad about it?
Do you want to take a condition and try again?
You know what? Sure.
Yes.
I'm like annoyed that this lady is like, how is she doing that on stage if she's not wearing anything magical?
We're all gonna need therapy after this.
We're gonna need
Should've
that
gone for
bar.
that flagellation room.
I got one success.
Okay. So you look her up and down, and you don't actually see any kind of a magical bauble or anything.
Okay.
You do notice that, like, the longer she's been off stage, the less just beaming she is. Like, over the course of the conversation, it's almost like you're watching her battery level deplete slowly. So, like, by the time you get to the point where you're like, you're sure that she's not wearing any magical items, you see her and she's kind of like, "Oh, well, it was very nice to meet you. I do need to change though and get this makeup off." And yeah,
I understand that you've got to take care of yourself, but I did actually have a couple of questions for you. Would you mind if we waited until you were finished getting out of your show clothes and everything, and we could ask you a few things?
Oh, no, that'd be fine.
All right.
I shouldn't be very long. I just need to sit a moment and,
Yes, of course.
And she, unless you're going to stop her further, she shuffles past you and gets to her dressing room and goes in and closes the door.
What a wonderful woman.
She is certainly interesting.
Now, you were looking her over real harsh there. Did you find something?
I'm not sure what I found. And she'll kind of quietly, so nobody else can overhear because there's people walking around. You really liked the show, didn't you?
I think I did.
Well, I think there's a reason for that, other than it being entertaining.
Oh.
Did you notice that how vibrant and beaming she was as she came off the stage?
I couldn't help but look away, actually.
As we were speaking to her, it sort of went, that shine went away little by little.
Oh.
I think there's something magical about her performance or something. I'm not sure what it is yet, but she's not wearing any talismans as far as I can tell.
Right.
But there is something magical at work here.
I wonder if we can get out on that stage.
You think it has something to do with the stage rather than her?
Well, I mean, if someone wanted a show to succeed real bad, I imagine they could have done something to make it a little
Perhaps the
more important.
talisman is on the stage, not on our person.
Now, I mean, all the magic stuff, that's you. I don't want to presume to know, but that's where I'd look next.
Yes, I think that's a good idea. And she'll immediately like look for a stagehand or something, and just
Wait.
like a rich person, a person of status would imperiously be like, "Oh, you person, I need to be on the stage. Can you show me there?"
You
like
person.
a total asshole.
You
You
find,
there, boy.
I mean, yeah, there's absolutely people that are working. Like you could see some people that are like tying up ropes and from the rig, and they the first person that turns to look at you is like, all right, and kind of guides you out onto the stage, and the house lights are on, right? So you can see now from the perspective of the stage just how big this place is, right? It's huge, like 2,500 plus seat theater. And yeah, you're standing out on the stage.
I would like to search it for magical sigils or whatnots.
So logic investigation.
Right. Mildly okay at that. Come on, dice. 1 success.
Okay. You start looking around the stage, and there's like detritus from the show that hasn't been swept up yet, right? There's spots where like the flowers were thrown up on the stage, and some leaves and petals fell off, and some like hunks of like prop cheese that haven't been taken backstage, and stuff like that. And they you're just not seeing anything magical per se, but finally you get all the way up at the very front edge of the stage where all the little footlights are, along the right along the front edge. And almost like someone very, very carefully in like a black paint to match the stage color painted this arc of some kind of language that you don't know.
Ooh.
All the way like between and around each of the footlights, like a chain from one side to the other.
Okay.
And it doesn't feel like it has any magic going right now, but it certainly looks kind of like a ritual sort of a thing.
Looks pretty suspicious. I'm assuming they gave us some sort of like pamphlet or something, like program, and I'll kind of
Yeah. You have that traditional yellow playbill thing.
Yeah, quickly like scroll down what it looks like and try to copy the letters as best as I can.
Sure, you can take a minute and do that, no problem. Is there anything else you guys want to do inside the theater, or you're waiting for her to come out?
Yeah.
Gotcha. So, a few minutes pass. Most of the rest of the cast has gone home by now. And you see Patricia, the stage manager, is kind of like looking at you guys like, are you gonna go? Like, we'd like to leave.
Oh, I do apologize. Ma'am, what was your name?
Patricia?
Patricia, it is a pleasure. I'm sorry. We actually were just waiting for Ms. Autumn to come back.
Oh, I see. Okay. Well, no problem. And she kind of steps away and disappears into the backstage where you don't see her anymore. And another few moments go by, and then the door opens to Ruth's dressing room, and she comes out, and she's wearing like the traditional sort of London fog jacket, right? Like a long, not all the way down to the floor sort of trench coat, but like 3/4 length thing over sensible looking outfit. Like she's in a pair of slacks and a blouse. And she's carrying home the bundle of flowers, and she's
Hmm.
got her purse and stuff, and she
Does
looks
she-
like. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, does she look noticeably different from when I saw her coming? Obviously, she's out of her makeup and everything, but like you said, she was glowing before, and I don't think Jackie would have noticed the like slow transition. But like, can I like? Does it seem like there's something missing when she comes out of the?
I mean, she certainly doesn't have the stage presence that you felt before. She looks almost like, when you see a celebrity that's out in the real world today and they're like trying to not be obvious about it.
Right, she's not on.
Yes. Like, clearly this outfit is designed to look semi nondescript and not be a big thing, and she is just heading home and attempting not to have to deal with anything extra tonight.
What kind of flowers is she carrying?
It's like a variety of, like, there's some roses and some carnations, stuff that, like, clearly they're the flowers that were thrown up on the stage, and
Gotcha.
she's taking those home.
Cool.
Miss Autumn.
Yes.
Now, I didn't want to bum rush you when you were coming off stage. That's a bad time to try to ask someone a lot of questions, but we were actually hoping if you could tell us if you know a Christopher, and then I've forgotten the last name of the family.
Essex, I think.
Is it?
Oh,
Is it
it's
Essex?
actually DeVere, but they are he's the Earl of Essex.
Ah,
If you know
Close
a
enough.
Christopher DeVere.
And she looks at you and she's like, I think I've met him. He sent some flowers and
Did the two of you ever meet? Other than just the
he'd come by the stage door. I bet you there's a few people out there right now.
right.
And
Was there ever a time when maybe he walked you to your car, or you actually got to speak to him, or was it just sort of he was there at the end?
I mean, we exchanged some words a few times, but nothing. We certainly didn't go anywhere or go out and do anything.
All right. He usually travels with a group of friends. Was he together with anyone else there when you spoke to him?
And you can tell she's trying to think. She's like, "Oh, I didn't see him with a whole group of people, but I did see someone. It seemed like he knew that was also standing out there with flowers a few times. Another young gentleman.
Hair color, height.
Oh,
Was he tall?
He was pretty tall, taller than the Christopher.
I'll give a brief description of Adam.
Sounds about right.
All right. But just the two of them?
I mean, among several other people. I mean,
oh, right. Other admirers.
But it didn't seem like anybody that they particularly knew.
Okay. But you didn't know them. You weren't more familiar.
No.
All right.
Is everything all right? I mean,
yes. Lady Sean, did you have any other questions that we might want to run by? Ms.
I think thank you so much for your time again, Miss Autumn. What would you say the last time that you saw the gentleman was, Christopher?
well, he hasn't been around in a while. Probably, I don't know, last week, the week before. I did see his tall friend yesterday.
Oh,
He came to the show.
oh, interesting. Well, I don't think we'll keep you any longer. Thank you
All
again
right.
so much.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed the show, and hopefully we'll see you again sometime.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to catch it again, I think.
She gives you a smile and a nod and heads on out the stage door, and you hear some people out there go, woo! Um, and I think that's a great place to end it for the night. You guys can meet up outside the stage door at the beginning of next session.
Yeah, Cersei doesn't
Cool.
make it. She's back.
Oh my gosh.
Push her down those stairs. Just like, oh, there you go.
Fall
There you
down
go.
the stairs.
Uh,
Oh my
let me
god.
know how it goes.
We have not had a game in which I didn't just fuck up whatever I was wearing.
Look, we got a tall guy to kill. We got this person to kill. We got, I don't know. I feel like we just
Go
need
on
to
a
take out a
rampage.
lot of people. Yeah, this is
I don't think we're supposed to kill any of these people.
John Wick. Okay, we just gotta throw down.
We just gotta know what's in the creepy murder basement. Part of me is like, we could have stayed. We could have hidden and stayed.
Yeah, if my gun had any bullets in it, kneecap you.
Listen, that murder basement isn't going anywhere.
Yeah, it's not. We can go into the apartment underneath her apartment. It is weird. I don't know
What
what.
if they lick the evidence away?
That's
What?
what Diablo would do.
All right.
See?
And on that note,
Thank you out there on the internet for joining us for episode 5 of London Calling. The episode in which I finally start to hurt people entirely by accident.
That
The door.
door.
This foot door's in the way.
I just who knew that getting into a mundane apartment would be so difficult, but
We're
fair enough.
backstage.
Yeah, or just anything. Yeah, just any door is apparently your nemesis. I'm gonna have to rethink the whole big bad I have planned and
Yeah.
just turn it into a door demon.
It's just gonna be a gateway.
Yeah.
It is.
But we will be back next Monday with episode 6. And then we will continue on and see where this is leading. Because sometimes I think I know and then I don't.
I never know.
Which is delightful in its own way. But please come and join us next Monday at 7, and we will be kicking that off. Let's go around and everybody can say good night. So first, let's do Clara.
Hi, I'm Clara. I played Saoirse Sheehy, the writer archetype. I'm all over the internet as clearly _golden, unless you're into mermaids, in which case you can find me around as mermaid _clarity. I keep forgetting to say this. I'm in a band. We've been performing at the Southern California Run Fair for the last 7 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I perform with the Merry Wives of Windsor most of the time. If you are Southern California based or just have social media, you can find us at Merry Wives. Sometimes I don't run their social media. I do not. I used to, but now I don't because I'm lazy. Anyway, that's what I'm up to.
And you do have one more chance if you are in Southern California or planning to be here next weekend to come out and see the Merry Wives perform.
Yes, you can see the Merry Wives of Windsor along with the Poxy Boggards, who may have something to do with this channel. What is this? This is a channel? I don't know. This thing.
Yeah.
That is also, that's how I ended up here.
That's exactly right. You get a bunch of nerds that like to hang out and sing folk songs, and there's gonna be a percentage of them that also like RPGs. It's just science.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Mitch.
Yeah, I'm Mitch. You can find me at Mitch S. Bustillos, other than finishing up my Necrobiotic book, which you can pre-order right now. Also writing for Chew and a couple other TTRPGs. But I'll be at Origins and Gen Con coming up, so check me out when you're over there.
Super cool. Super cool. Kurt.
Hi, Hi, I've been Kurt. I played Jackie Princeton, the Texas Tornado. You can find me online at Kurt Potts on Twitter or TikTok now. I'm making TikToks every day. That's fun. Yeah, that's me. I don't have anything else to plug. I had a decent launch of a thing last week and it is running. If you want to know about it, go follow me on Twitter.
Sam.
Hello, I'm Sam. I play Sean Jones, the fake Welsh occultist of our game, and you can find me on the internets at Red Pandroid. I don't have anything else to plug, so come back and see us again on Monday next week.
Yay.
Ooh.
Other than that, a huge thank you to our Twitch moderator friends, James V and Dork Lord Canada. I appreciate the efforts that you go through to make sure that we have a cool place for folks to hang out and chat. Because I know that can be a bear sometimes, because the internet is full of both wonder and horror in equal measure. So thank you for making sure that we keep everything in proportion. And again, a huge thank you to the Patreon contributors to Happy Jacks RPG. We love you, and we love the beer money that you send our way. So I will put up some names in a moment as a big thank you for the month, and then we will see you next week. There will be an advice show here on Happy Jacks on Friday, so you can tune in there and hear people responding to emails about all kinds of RPG stuff. Yeah. So good night, everybody.
Bye. I love you.